Right, hello and welcome back to Dragon of Icespire Peak. In the last session, you began introducing your characters in the town of Phandalin, and you picked up a number of rumours that told you that a dragon sightings of a white dragon had become common in the area, and the citizens of Phandalin were starting to get quite concerned about the potential for a full-scale dragon attack, which would undo all the hard work they had done in building up this small frontier town over the last 50 or so years. So, following these rumours, you made your way to the town and found a number of quests upon the job board set by the new townmaster, Harbin Wester. These quests you chose eventually to follow to help a woman at a place southeast of Phandalin, not too far, maybe a couple of hours travel, called Umbridge Hill. And as you travelled there after meeting each other and getting your introductions and properly getting to know each other as characters, on the way, unfortunately, you did encounter said dragon, which is clearly making itself more and more risky in its attacks on people as it's getting closer and closer to some of the larger settlements. It grabbed you, Keeper Madri, up in its claws, but thankfully you managed to cause it enough bother that it lost interest in you and flew back up into the mountains. However,
thank you, Ruby.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
However, the day was not over as you made your way to Umbridge Hill and found yourselves greeted by a manticore, which was attacking the mill nearby of the woman you wish to convince to return to Phandalin, I believe. Let me just double check. That's definitely correct, isn't it? Phandalin quests. Here we go. Yes, it was a local midwife and acolyte of Shaun T. And he wanted that with the dragon sites becoming more common, that he wanted her to convince that it's not safe to be alone. And once she is safe, the townmaster promised you a reward of 25 gold pieces. So, once you arrived, you dispatched this manticore enough to make it fly away. It did a significant amount of damage to you, but luckily you all managed to survive unharmed. And you did manage to, at a crazy shot from Keeper Madriel, manage to shoot down this awful beast. And now we find ourselves at Umbridge Hill with Adabra Gwyn, the midwife and apothecary, who is quite thankful to your help, and potential more quests back at Phandalin, should you choose to undertake them. So I will move you over to... Let's go to the Umbridge Hill.
Did we already accept, was it one or two more quests?
You haven't formally accepted any. You chose out of the three which ones you wanted to do. And you chose to... But there's no reason why you couldn't go back and pick one of the other ones.
Yeah.
Pick some slightly different music. Let's do this. So, the short stature of Adabra comes to you, Keeper Madriel. She goes, "Wow, what a shot!"
Sometimes we are blessed with a power beyond our own.
No kidding. Blimey, I've never seen someone fell a... Was that a manticore?
I think so, but though it would be wrong to say that I felled it if it wasn't for my companions. I would have been no match for such a beast.
I'm glad you killed it. That, who knows, maybe it would have come back if you hadn't put it to the ground.
Most likely. But you are safe now. Are you harmed?
I took a nasty fall and my arm's all bruised up, but whoever pumped that healing into me, I'm okay. It'll take a couple of weeks to sleep off, I imagine.
Indeed.
I am.
Well,
What makes you think a manticore would attack my humble little mill? I've got no thing of importance here beyond food, but
yeah, they can be opportunistic hunters, but it is strange that they would spend so much effort, even only fleeing at the last moment, to just hunt you.
can you do a nature or survival check for me, Keeper Madriel?
Mhm.
No, you're not sure. Carry on with your original thought.
Perhaps it was struggling for food. If the dragons are hunting around or nearby, it might be warned away from larger prey or struggling to meet its normal amount of feeding.
That makes sense, and oh, God, I've seen that dragon fly through, well, only a moment before you arrived, and then I've seen it a week before. It's dark times for people like us. How's a woman meant to make a living out here?
I think perhaps it's a time to think less of a living and more of your life. I think it's time perhaps to come back to the town and close ranks with your fellow bandoliners.
Do a persuasion check for me.
Sure.
Ooh.
She kind of sighs and she's like, perhaps you're right. I hate to abandon my home, though. Will you help me gather my things, at the very least?
Of course.
Maybe help me fix the door a bit, if save the rats getting in.
Totally happy to, yes. Madro would smile and head back towards the mill.
Ruby kind of looks over to you, Madrio, and she's like, "What a shot! Never seen someone make any. I mean, I'd like to say I'm strong with a longbow, but that was something else." And Nib at this point would be approaching as well, and it's sort of like, Madriel, that was amazing.
That was quite the shot, quite far away.
My hand was guided by greater power. Think nothing of it, people, and thank you for your determination in the face of quite the monster.
Oh, it was quite painful.
We can't have any nasty creatures getting around on our backs, can we, Sapphire?
Well, we certainly can't. Well, at least we. I don't think we've faced anything quite that big. Well, apart from that dragon, I suppose.
I was going to say. And that time with the hippogriff.
Oh,
Nasty
yeah, but
creatures.
that was pretty big, but to be honest, I think that was a bit bigger.
Oh, most certainly. Well, are you alright, madam? And the Dabra sort of, like, sheepishly comes up aside and says, "Yes, I'm fine, thank you. I wish I had more to give you, but I already gave you one of my potions for free. I do sell them, but I can't. They're my lifeblood. I can't part with them so easily. I could sell them at a discount to you, though."
Well, I mean, well, the rewards are nice, but they're never required. Discount is pretty good, though. I mean, we could definitely use some potions, eh, Ruby?
I have 3 at the moment in stock. I know it's not much, but there's all a woman like me can make in a spare time with the limited ingredients I've got. I could give you. I've got to make a little bit of profit on them. How does 35 gold per potion sound?
She sort of looks at Ruby and then back at everyone else and
100 for all 3. We can call it square.
sounds good to me. It's more than 3. It's more than more than we've had in the last 4 months, eh, Ruby?
Oh,
Pretty
quite.
nice to have the backup.
And a little bit of healing from yourself then, Miss Madriel. I know you showed it off in the inn, but, well, a bit different seeing it in a clutch situation like that.
I think any form of there's something very reassuring about having a potion ready to go.
Aye, you could say that again.
Mm-hmm.
I think it wasn't bad for our first outing as a little team, though, wouldn't you say?
I think so. I think we would have been dead on the floor without them, to be honest, Ruby.
Quite indeed, quite indeed. And you little Nib, you're quite the shot with that bow of, no, the fire of yours, rather. She's like, oh, thank you, it helps having Lil, she guides my shot. Oh, does she now? Well, I might have to get myself one of those little birdies. Dabra kind of goes inside and, like, I imagine you start helping her out carrying all her bits. She's got some, she sort of starts piling clothes into bags and other sort of essentials before saying, would you like the healing potions?
Yeah, let me just check. I can't remember how much gold we have.
I can contribute 40 gold.
I've got 30. So,
Doesn't
sure.
quite get us there. We could have 2. Perhaps we should wait until we collect the reward for...
I suppose she's coming with us. We could just collect it then.
You can buy it when we arrive back in Phandalin if you prefer. I imagine the new townsmaster will have your reward. Well,
I'm sure we will.
Should we get going?
Let's.
Does one of you mind? Does any have anything to block the door or maybe fix it? I know some people have magic.
She looks at the 2 magic-y people, and then looks at Ruby. Looks around.
If Nib's got mending or not, so look. Nope.
If not, we're just gonna shove some crap in front of the door.
Yeah, I think you're better served by the physically strong amongst us.
Well, there's plenty of rocks around, and I'm sure it's better than nothing. Anything to stop the rats getting in and soiling up my bedroom. I'll have to come back and maybe when this dragon business is... Oh, I don't know where I'm going to stay. Hopefully Sister Grail will have a spot for me.
Oh, I'm sure they're going to have to make room if they're asking everyone back. I'm sure they've already thought about it.
Oh, yes, and oh god, the noise. I used to live next to some awful neighbours. Would never shut up. Their daughter was quite the troublemaker.
You know what you gotta do? You gotta bang on the wall until they be quiet, you know?
Oh, I would, but I feel like they're the type who might come round and, cause even more trouble. I'm not that... that's why I moved out here. I like to keep to myself and not get involved in these types of things. Shows me right, though, hey?
Fair enough, I suppose.
1 minute you've got a neighbour
That's only temporary, though, right?
The fuck was their names, Tom?
The Coopers.
The Coopers. One day you've got a neighbour like the Coopers, and the next you've got a manticore knocking down your door. I'm not sure which one's worse.
Both bad. Both in different ways, I suppose. Yeah, we're just gonna go shove some rocks in front of this door.
Yes.
Pile them high.
It would maybe take you 10-15 minutes to get enough rocks in front, so you think they would create some kind of barrier to maybe make a wild animal think twice.
Yeah.
And I assume you're heading back off towards... are you going to take a rest at all before you leave?
Yeah, could do.
How far away is...
It's about 2 hours to Phandalin.
What are the chances of running into Dragon again, eh?
That never happened.
Well...
yeah, I wouldn't be against a rest.
Yeah.
Are we doing the 10-minute one 2 times a day, or are we doing the normal hour?
let's keep trying the 10-minute one, see how it works. I'm not sure how I feel about it completely yet, but I think it's worth more testing. I think this is a good place to. So yeah, two rests a day, but you can only take 10-minute ones.
Okay.
Um,
I'm gonna start forgetting which campaigns we're doing it in. I think.
Sure, we'll do it in Wildman and this for now, as I know that's that much. Yeah, feel free to use any hit dice that you like to. Oh, we're level 2 as well, aren't we? I forgot to.
Yeah.
I completely forgot.
Oh, come on.
What's the thing? So I will, if you guys can control, then edit them, can't you? I believe. Just double check.
Yes.
So.
Oh, 2 1s.
Yeah.
That's good. So let me. If I read the rules out, I would like, Tom, you know how to edit the Roll20 NPCs, don't you? Or do you know?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, that's fine. If I get the things up, we can do it together. Where is Sidekicks? What book is Sidekicks? It's in Tasha's, isn't it? Tasha's. Sidekicks. So, what class is old Ruby? She's a warrior, I believe.
Yep.
So at 2nd level, if you want to add, actually I can probably just do this myself. It won't take a second. But I will add. She gets a 2nd wind.
Ooh.
Quickly get that so she can heal herself up with a bonus action. Why is that not showing me? Where is it? 2nd wind. Oops. Sorry, I wish I'd done this before. I completely forgot.
Sorry.
2nd wind, that is on there now. And she also gets. Does someone want to roll a? I think she gets another point of health, right? How does that work? It's been a while since I looked at the stuff. I can't remember. They get to roll another D8 for every time they level up.
What, for hit time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, right?
Genuinely can't remember. Let's have a look. Creating a psychic. Friendship might be connected. Psychic is a 2nd character. Starting level. Leveling hit points. Whenever the psychic gains a level, it gains 1 hit die, and also its maximum increases. Determine the amount of increase. Roll the hit die. That's con modifier. She's already got 2 hit die, so I don't think she would gain another one, would she, till 3rd level?
Don't know.
Maybe they just start on 2.
Yeah, it does say 2nd level, so maybe she starts on 2. I think that's probably right. So she gets her 2nd wind. Although it says here she's got a fighting style and not the 2nd wind, so that's interesting. And 1d10 is her what should be her hit points thing. So we can actually re-roll her 1st and 2nd level here, I think, because she should have more. So does someone want to roll me 2 d10s, one after another? Let's see how much HP we get for her.
You want to do 1 each, Anna, so we're both to blame?
Sure.
Maybe 2d10 plus 4.
Oh, it was on a 1 for so long.
A 9 and a 5, pretty good. So she goes up
Excellent.
to
20.
20 HP in total, yeah. Wait, is that right? 9 plus 5 is 14. No, 18 HP, right?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so
Yep.
2d10 plus 4. And she's up to 18 HP. Fantastic. That's a 5 HP gain for her. I think everything else for her stays the same as far as I can tell. Or maybe it's not 1d10. I'm going to look at the fighter thing. Oh, we'll leave it at that. That seems fine to me. Let's see if I can see what hit die they get. The type of die appears in the psychic stat box, so it should have been D8. I'm going to change it to D10 because fuck it.
Oh, yeah.
So that is, I think, everything she gets. And then we have a spellcaster in old Nib. She only gets one use of second wind as well. Interesting. So do one of one per day. So Nib, as the spellcaster, gets from cantrips known 2, spells known 2, first level spells known 2.
Oh, you get to pick the spell. What does he get?
So what's he got currently? So he does actually... No, he only has 1, so he does get to pick another first level spell. That I believe would be from the wizard spell list. I believe. Yes, because he is the mage wizard, I believe. Let me just double check. Yeah, his 15 intelligence. So he is a mage. So if you guys want to look up on the wizard
does he get
spell
burning
list.
hands?
What was that?
We get burning hands.
You could get burning hands, yeah.
No, it says spellcasters beyond first level, second level, you get burning hands.
Oh, do you? Where does it say that? I don't see that on the table. For me, it just doesn't. It just says blank, and then the second gets into extra spell slot.
Maybe I'm reading wrong, but I don't know.
I'm reading directly from the book, so it might be a more homebrew source you're looking at, maybe.
It's just the one that's on the thing.
I can link you to it. I'll put the link in Discord so everyone can. Oh, weird. Oh, I think this is directly from the Icespire keep. That's the psychics. I was looking at the Tasha's psychics.
Okay, yeah, we can choose them.
Yeah,
okay.
we'll move to the Tasha's one because I think the Tasha's one's a bit better, to be honest.
Yeah.
They're a bit more robust. And then you guys can pick a spell from the first level wizard's first list. I'll look it up. The first level.
Oh, it's Madriel's little psychic. Gets to pick, right?
It's true. There's a good list
let's
of
find a suitable
I found one.
Nibbathy.
List of it. Popped in the Discord chat as well. So you've got absorb elements, acid stream, I think it's UA, alarm, burning hands, catapult, cause fear, charm person, chromatic orb, color spray, comprehend languages, detect magic, disguise self, distort value, tremor, expeditious retreat, false life, featherfall, find familiar, fog cloud, frost fingers, gift of alacrity, grease, and all the other ones on there. Silvery barbs.
No, definitely not.
No.
What's her current one? Sleep.
Yeah, she's already got sleep.
Just do the classic, maybe? Magic Missile?
Very
Nice.
useful. Yeah.
It's always a good one.
Let's do that. Magic Missile. Let's... Fucking compendium will work. There we go. That is done. I think, apart from that...
Oh! Job, Ruby.
Bonus proficiency. We should get level 1. It's 1 saving throw. That should actually... Oh no, it's wisdom she chose. Okay, good. Cool, and then the 2d8 will keep the same for Nib. That feels about right to me. So she doesn't rather, sorry, get the any extra HP. Yeah, but cool. So they're leveled up now.
Nice.
Jeez, I'm sorry, that should have done that
Oh.
before already. Right, so you've taken a short rest, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
And how much HP are Ruby and Nib at now? They're at 4 as well, I assume. Yeah, they are. Cool. So I'm assuming you're making your way back to Fandlin.
Yeah.
Let's see. Move you over to the map. Should be able to see the Umbrage Hill and see where that is. It is going to take about 2 hours, but I think you've already had quite the few encounters today, so on the way back your travel is quite quiet, to be honest, as you travel another sort of 7 miles back.
Nice.
You arrived at Umbrage Hill around midday, so you arrived sort of early afternoon, sort of 2 o'clock, arriving back in Fandlin. Making your way down the winding road of the Tribord Trail and slowly coming in past the stables and finding yourself closer to Barthen's Provisions and sort of back into the centre of town. What are you doing? Are you going straight to the Townmaster's Hall?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, unless there's anything anyone wants to stop for.
No, all good. I think Madriel wants to get these potions, and for that we need the reward.
Mm-hmm.
So, Adabra, at your call, would follow you to the Townsmaster's office, and you'd find a hall, sort of with a large set of double doors at the front. And as you make your way inside, you see there's a sort of a large, long, sort of running desk that sort of sits at the far back of the room. That sort of the building kind of cuts off in half, and then there's seems to be an office beyond there. The receptionist kind of sits there, kind of with a quill and ink pen, kind of sort of writing down different notes upon a page. And there's a number of sort of seats that kind of curl around this sort of hall. Designed for, maybe you think this hall was probably designed for with maybe more people in mind, but probably the people of Fandlin not as well needed for this. And the receptionist doesn't even sort of give you mind as you walk in. She just continues writing something with this sort of ink quill. And do you make your way up to the sort of counter where she is?
Yeah, I think as Sapphire walks in, she's just going to dump down all the luggage on the floor. Like, that was heavy, but not too heavy for me. She looks over at Ruby.
Oh, yeah, you really did a good job, Sapphire. Keep those muscles trained. There's no days off in the life of an adventurer.
Oh, tell me about it. You've had your own share.
Well, no kidding. I think you got the heavier lot there, though. Will that do
definitely.
here, Miss Adabra? And she's like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Right, well, better go get this reward.
Right,
Looks over at the receptionist.
After you.
Oxford.
You sort of make your way up, and the receptionist like barely even looks up at you, and then she sort of, as you get closer, she kind of looks at him like, what do you want?
One reward, please. We've brought back your... what was she again?
She was like a local midwife and apothecary.
Yeah, we brought back your local midwife. And as per your mission, or, your superior's mission.
She kind of looks at you and then sort of like kind of rolls her eyes up and then looks to the office next to her and she's like, Townmaster, see you now.
All right then. She walks over to the office.
Yeah, and do you knock on the door?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Quite loudly though.
As you knock quite loudly on the door, you hear like one moment, please, one moment. And you kind of like suddenly everything goes quiet, and you kind of hear like maybe something fall off a desk, like cling 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 cling, and sort of you hear someone trying to pull themselves out of their chair, kind of thing, and then you hear like it goes quiet for a second, then you sort of the door goes, and there's like a little a large face with a very sort of Richard Griffiths-esque kind of like very sort of like big red cheeks, a sort of grey moustache, kind of beady little eyes, and kind of like a tuft of hair on grey hair on top. Kind of looks out. He's wearing quite sort of like almost regal looking sort of dark like black robes with kind of gold trim along them, and sort of little tiny sort of pauper's shoes, and a little hat with a feather on the top of his head otherwise. And he kind of looks out and he's like, "Oh, can I help you?"
Well, I hear you're the man to come to for a reward. And she sort of
yes,
gestures.
yes. My name is Harbin Wester. I'm sure you've heard of me. I'm the new townsmaster.
Oh, I've heard of you. Yeah, well, that's why we're here. She gestures outside the door to...
I'm very busy. I'm very busy, man. Is there something I can help you with?
Well, like I said, we're here for our reward.
Oh yes, of course. The job orders. One moment, and he sort of shuts the door, and you hear some like pushing stuff around, and you hear some like clambering, and then he opens the door, and he's like, "Come, please, take a seat. Take a seat."
Oh well, okay.
And what I have to say, what a beautiful set of women we have here.
Well, I mean, flattery won't never replace the reward.
Perhaps if I was younger.
Perhaps.
Yes, well, and he looks over and sees a Dabra, and he's like, "Oh, you're back, my dear. It's so lovely to see you safe with all this news of dragons and all this craziness. I think, I think it's all a load of poppycock, if you ask me, but, have to keep those heads of the Lord's Alliance happy, have to make sure I'm doing my job properly, so, she's
poppycock? We've barely made it out alive.
Oh, all hearsay, if you ask me. Dragons, I've never seen a dragon. I think it's a load of old rubbish, if you ask me. I think dragons died off probably, I reckon, hundreds of years ago. It's all just fairy tales, isn't it?
Sapphire looks over to the group, and she does sort of a get a load of this guy sort of gesture.
Yeah. Madrio's watching him, but has a very sort of calm, blank expression. She has her hands clasped in front of her. And is just watching him.
Well, let me sign off on it, and then I could he says, Jennifer, bring the parchment. She's like, you see like a kind of like, you hear like a ink will kind of drop on the table outside, and she kind of like moves her way, shoulders, kind of hands hanging quite low, and just like slams down a parchment on the table and kind of makes her way back out. She's like, "Good girl." She's a good girl, really. Yeah, she's quite a good. Yeah, I brought her with me from old Neverwinter.
She enjoy her job, I see.
Oh yes, she's brilliant. Yeah, sharp as an eagle, her mind, sharp as an eagle. Yes. Anyway, I think I'll sign off on this, and that's 25 gold pieces. I believe I'm a man of my word. I do not. You can all tell all your friends. Harbin Wester's a man of his word.
I will. I'll also tell him that he's a bit of a disbeliever of dragons. I'm sure everyone will get a laugh of the recent sightings.
Well, excuse me, I've never been spoken to with such disrespect. I think I could quite easily take away that reward, That's, disrespecting a townsmaster. Some more cruel townsmasters would lock you up for that.
We'll only lose the people doing the missions for you. Why would you even do these? Set up these missions if you don't believe in the dragons? I'm just curious.
Well, I am a man of the people. I serve the people, and people say there's talk of a dragon and rumours, and as much as I can believe, I'm allowed my opinions, and you're allowed your opinions, and I think we have to make time for everyone's opinions. It's all about respecting each other, isn't it?
It certainly is. You'd lock me up for expressing my opinion.
Two, I think an intimidation check. That kind of feels like, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he's like, just take your gold and here, yes, very good job. And he kind of just slides the gold across to you and just sort of says, I'm very awfully busy, I'll have to see you later. And he sort of gets up and starts sort of trying to shepherd you out of the room. He looks really flustered at that comment. His cheeks go all red, and he kind of like can sort of you almost see his hat like pop off his head for a moment.
Yeah, she steps out of the room. Oh,
As Madriel leaves, she would just calmly say, "You should take care not to not to worry yourself too much. Blood pressure is likely very high already."
I never met so many rude people in my life. Out with you.
Good day.
Slams
Steps
the door
out.
like behind him.
I'm sure he's she steps all the way out outside the building now. So I'm sure he's a nice guy, really. But conspiracy theories, they don't do the people any good usually.
Right you are, and we know for ourselves that dragon was no conspiracy theory.
Exactly. Denying it only makes people in danger.
Quite you are, Sapphire. This is why the world needs good people like us.
Exactly.
Shame though, it
Or
seems
just around to...
seems old Toblin was quite excited for the new townsmaster, and to be honest, he seems like all the other bureaucrats you find down in Neverwinter and Waterdeep.
It's a shame. Maybe he came up from there. For all we know.
It sounded like he did come down from Neverwinter.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe they should always just try and stick to, the locals.
Quite right you are. Right, at least we have enough gold to pay Miss Adabra here for those potions we were looking for, though. He's like, oh yes, yeah, here you go, 100 gold pieces for the 3.
Yeah, hands it over.
Yeah, she'll hand over 3 potions of healing.
So how much did we get from the job? 25?
25, so she was charging 35 gold pieces per thing, but she said 100 for all 3. Made it sort of...
Do we have enough?
I think you did, so 40, and then Hannah had 30, right?
30, yeah.
25 takes it to 95.
Oh, true. She'd be like, that's fine. 95 is, yeah, that's more than enough. That's reasonable.
Oh, well, just, make sure you remind us when we come next. We owe you 5.
Oh, no, it's fine. You...
No, I insist.
Oh, if you insist, sure. Thanks.
Do you have somewhere to stay?
Yeah, I'm sure Sister Grail will take me up. I don't know if she's in town at the moment, but she's always otherwise, I'm sure Toblin will see me good.
Well, if you need any more help, carrying your luggage, not that worn out just yet.
Oh, that's fine. If you just drop it outside the inn for me, and then I could spend some of this money and have a drink. To be honest, after the day we've had.
Yeah, she nods. To be honest, I could do with a drink as well.
Yeah, you'll.
Ruby, you got any more money? She winks at her.
She kind of like reaches into her pockets, pulls them inside out. Like, I think we might need to look into doing another one of these little quests.
You might be right.
Yeah, so
yeah.
It is
carry some luggage.
It is sort of mid-afternoon. If you carry the luggage, it wouldn't take you long to get to the Stonehill Inn. What are you doing?
What time is it?
It's about 3 o'clock now.
How far away is the next mission?
So if you remember rightly, the other two quests that you saw on the board, and if you were to look outside the Townsmaster's Hall at the board, you see there are two other job postings. There's currently one that says Dwarven Excavation Request. Dwarf prospectors found ancient dwarven ruins in the mountains southwest of here and have been working on archaeological digs seeking treasure and relics. They need to be warned that a white dragon has moved into the area. Take the warning to them and then return to Town Master Harbin Wester to collect a reward of 50 gold pieces. And then the second quest you saw was Gnomengard. A clan of reclusive rock gnomes resides in a small network of caves to the mountains to the southeast. The gnomes of Gnomengard are known for their magical inventions, and they might have something with which to defeat the dragon. Get whatever you can from them. If you bring back something useful and don't want to keep it for yourselves, Townmaster Harbin Wester will pay you 50 gold pieces for it.
Okay. I mean, whichever one's closest?
Do a history check and you can see what you think would be closer based on how well you know the area.
Okay. Yeah.
19. Yeah, you get the impression there, like, Gnomengard is probably a little bit further away, but not by much, to be honest. It's just more it goes sort of over the hills, which would take you a little bit longer. You know that Gnomengard would probably... You've never been there yourself to either of these locations, but based off the description, you'd get the impression that where the Dwarven Excavation is probably about 15 miles, and Gnomengard is about, with the sort of detour you'd have to take around the hills, it's probably about 20.
Okay. She just looks at the group and she says, well, they're fairly close to each other. Maybe we can kill two orcs with one stone, eh?
They are quite far away from each other. They're near to Phandalin, but one is to the southeast and one is to the southwest. So from each other, they're about 20 miles.
So they're separate.
Yeah, one of them's they're about 20 miles apart from each other. But the Dwarven Excavation is only about 15 miles from Phandalin.
Okay.
And then the Gnomengard is more like 20 miles from Phandalin.
I mean, they're of equal distance from here. I guess it's just a pick of preference.
I would, if it's okay, I would prefer to help the dwarves as they are more in direct need of assistance.
True. That dragon is nearby.
That sounds like a good idea, Matriel. Maybe we should take the rest of the day off, though. It's been a bit much.
The only thing is, I can't really afford the old inn now.
True.
Don't fancy sleeping in the mud much. Tent would be better than the grass.
I don't know how much use I'll be, though, without a rest. Maybe... And sort of like Ruby butts in and says, I'm sure Doblin will put us up if we promise him a share of the gold.
True, maybe he'll start a tab.
Quite exactly. He's good for it. I wouldn't worry, little one. Okay, that sounds good then. Adria, what do you think?
I think that sounds very kind. Thank you.
Right, to the inn then.
Indeed.
Hopefully he'll let us have some drinks on a tab as well.
I'm sure he will, you know. Yes, before.
Well, you know, Toblin, he knows I always pay my debts. So you make you make your way across the street to the Stonehill Inn, and once more you find where's the volume so bad? Okay. So you find yourselves within the Stonehill Inn once more, and Toblin kind of greets you like, oh, I was thinking this the other day, he had a fucking Bristolian accent in your campaign, didn't he, Tom?
Yeah, because that's like 90% of my NPCs.
Let me try and change his voice up. Good day, my lover. Alright. Nice to see you back.
Nice to see you.
See any dragons out there?
Oh God, yeah, don't even remind us. Yeah, one big ass one.
Oh gosh,
Yeah, yeah. Keep your eyes to the sky.
I will. What can I do for you? I cannot do a fucking
Well,
Brazilian accent easily.
we're
Bear with
kind
me.
of hoping that we could, maybe start a bit of a tab. A little bit low on the old gold at the moment.
Oh, okay. Do a persuasion check for me with advantage. That's Ruby.
Okay.
Ruby. Walking as well.
Oh,
Ooh, 7. I think it was a pretty low DC. So you'd say, I actually can't do this fucking accent. You just say, all right then. I think well, I can put it on a tab for you, but I'll have to. I cannot do both those accents. Sorry, I was gonna have to talk in normal voice for problem. I'll have to. I can. I'll give you a. I'll put it on a tab for you, Ruby. But I think I'll have to. Put a 5 gold initial charge on there this time. She says, "All right, Dublin. Appreciate it. I think that's reasonable."
Sapphire just looks at her. You got 5 gold?
No, I mean, he kind of looks. He's like, "No, I mean when you pay, I think an extra 5 gold on top."
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like, was it?
A deposit. No. No, that's fine. Yeah, you're good for it. Ruby's good for it. I just, I've got charges to make sure, and in case you, well, if God forbid you don't come back, then maybe, maybe I could do with a bit of deposit. Actually, he kind of thinks to himself. Good idea. Have you got anything that might cover that?
Madriel steps forward and says, my apologies, I have some gold. It was in a different pouch. I'm still getting used to the one I bought from Barthen's. How much for the night and for 2 rounds of drinks? She looks at the dwarves. 3?
She does the little shaky hand motion.
Oh, we'll have a night's lodgings for us all, and 5 rounds of drinks, please.
Yeah, gives a hearty nod, looks at Ruby.
Are you all sharing a room?
I'm fine with this arrangement.
Oh man, well, if we're gonna be, working together, we can all sleep together, no worries.
Okay, well, that's 5 silver pieces for the one room, and 5 silver pieces for 5 drinks, so a gold in total.
There you are. She slides it across the countertop.
Oh, thank you kindly. Oh well, looks like you won't have to take up that old deposit either, or...
Oh, I was just trying to search my pockets. I was
I'm
gonna have to
sorry.
run down to the old selling point.
Sorry for making you sweat. I am.
It's alright.
New pouch problems.
No worries. Sometimes it gets lost in the old pouches,
Well, if you're ever, Toblin kind of butts in, he's like, if you're ever short of gold, then, I heard there's, supposedly there's, well, out on the coast, there's an old stone lighthouse, and, ships are drawn to the gleaming tower like moths to a flame, and, unfortunately, are doomed to crash upon its rocks, or so I've heard, and I reckon their wrecks must be filled with treasure. Maybe you could, scour a few gold from there.
I mean, it'll certainly help with our journey. Can't do a journey without drinking.
Well, quite. I couldn't agree more. Well, I'll fetch your room for you, and here's the key, and I'll get your drinks and bring them right over to you. Thank you, Dublin. And yeah, you get a seat, and what are you doing? You've got sort of the rest of the day. It's like sort of 4 o'clock now, but you've got quite a few hours until you head off to sleep. So
Yeah. Sapphire is slamming drinks with Ruby. If everyone else is doing drinks as well, she's slamming drinks with them as well.
I think Medriel is a bit the opposite. She enjoys the drink, but isn't a slammer of drinks. She has wine and kind of sips away if there is wine available. But is hearty and joins in with discussion in her way. But if you'll allow it, Natalie, I like the thought of Madriel keeping like a little journal almost where she notes down the people she's met, but also like their general well-being and demeanor, like their health,
Oh yeah,
almost like a
absolutely.
doctor's notes kind of thing.
100%. Yeah, that's totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, she'd be doing that. The little pencil.
Oh, what you writing there?
Oh, she puts the book down and like twists it with her hand and scooches it towards you, Sapphire.
Looks down.
I was about to ask you whether you'd allow me. So good timing. I like to keep notes on everyone I've met. I want to
Ooh.
make sure good healer, good doctor keeps track of people's health over time. And things you notice, I try to keep a sharp eye. As you can see, and she like flips the page back, and you see there's like a whole page worth of notes on Harbin Wester, where it's like many broken veins across the nose and cheeks, clear signs of early alcoholism, like lots of notes like that.
She looks a brief look over at Ruby. Looks back at the book and she's like, well, I guess we've never had a good doctor then, eh? This is more than my doctor ever did.
Yes, sir. Feel free. Write notes about me. What have I got? How many teeth have I got missing now, Sapphire? She kind of opens her mouth like, and you can see there's like
at
three-
least 10.
There's like at least 3 at the front that are missing, perhaps more going back.
Yeah, Madriel like cranes to look genuinely interested. Makes a little note.
Oh, do you know, I don't know whether that's better than broken ones. And she opens her mouth and all the side ones are all broken and cracked.
Oh, does that give you much pain?
Nah, not anymore. You kind of just grin and bear it, you know?
I see.
Bit of dwarven hardiness in there, yeah. But I still got an award-winning smile, if I don't say so myself.
Oh, I think it gives you character, Ruby, you know?
Right,
That gap in there?
each missing tooth a story. I won't mention about the 4 that are from eating too much sugar.
Well, it's worth it though, wasn't it?
I do like some of those delicious toffee-coated apples they do over midwinter.
Oh, and they'll take your teeth right out.
That they did.
When they put too much caramel in there, you know? Well, saying that, too much caramel.
What's a toffee-coated apple?
Well, it's an apple. You get a stick, you stab the apple with the stick, and the toffee man covers it with the toffee, and it hardens, and it's really, really good.
That's
Very, very bad for your teeth.
Oh, maybe I'll.
But so worth it.
But also really bad for your teeth.
Pretty bad. But
Madriel's looking quite sternly at not at Sapphire, but looking at Nib.
Maybe I'll. Maybe I'll give that one a miss then.
Oh, well, you'll be missing out.
Maybe one day I'll have one. And she kind of looks to Madriel kind of approvingly.
Madriel has a little smile. Goes back to writing in her book.
Not for you though, Halil. The little bird kind of is just chirping around on the table. Kind of like maybe picking at some of your like breadcrumbs off of Nib's meal.
Well, here's one to add to your book then, if you hadn't noticed already. You're quite observant. She like lifts her arm a little bit, and underneath you see there's lots of little like how would I describe it? I don't know if you know what they look like, but I've got one in the middle of my forehead where it's a little like gap, not gap, but like
I know what you mean. It's like a
like an indent. It's like an indent type thing
Okay.
from chicken pox.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Madriel would look at that closely and be like, I've seen similar before. Do you know how yours came to be?
Oh, I do. My mum reminds me about it every day when I did it, telling me not to scratch it. So I scratched it to hell. Now there's loads of polka dots.
Well, you're certainly not alone, if that's any comfort.
Well, I mean, that helps, but, kind of like these little polka dots,
Builds, shows character.
Exactly. Now you getting it?
Oh. Well, you must be, popular with the young ones. I know plenty. I've come across many a ragamuffin in the street who loves a good toffee apple and is covered in polka dots.
Oh, man, well, if I could make them, I'm sure I would be. Usually they just come to ask about me chomped leg.
Your what?
If you remember last session, I can't remember if I said or not, but she's just got a bit of a muscle thing.
Oh, no, you did,
Yeah,
Because Madrio was like, there's nothing I can do.
yeah.
This is quite rare. I'm going to have to do a full sketch, I think.
Oh, well, you can show me after. I'll do like a good portrait.
It will, don't know if it will be flattering, but I will try and be as detailed as possible. I have some ideas for both of your, dental conditions.
Do go on, Doctor.
Well, don't say no straight away. I was introduced to the idea by a kind old man on the streets of Waterdeep. He used carved wood, softened with a gum made from a certain plant that grows by the shore. And you carve the wood. Take some dexterity. I was actually hoping Nib, you might help me with that.
Of course.
But you carve the wood to shape as the missing tooth or missing part of a tooth, in your case Sapphire, and attach it with the gum. The gum provides a soft surface, so you're not pressing the wood into the gum. Or I just noticed that's an unfortunate use of the word. The gum of your mouth doesn't get hurt or the broken piece of tooth, but it provides you a surface to chew and bite. And
Oh, well, if it lets you eat more meat, Saparubi, I bet you like it.
It sounds like a good idea to me. I won't say no if you want to take a little peeky at practice, Doctor.
that would bring me great joy. Thank you. I'll source some wood in the morning from perhaps Barthen's.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds like a plan.
So, are you just sort of chatting and drinking into the night, as it were?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So?
the time passes quickly as your conversation, and more people sort of pour into the inn as the evening kicks on, and eventually the embers of the fire die down, and you sort of make your way to your room. There are only 2 beds in this room, so you would have to make sort of arrangements to sleep on the floor as such.
Mm-hmm.
But you would be able to get a fairly comfort night's sleep, and you can all take a long rest.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Madrio has a bit of a, and it's not private, she would just do it, a bit of a pre-sleep ritual, almost like prayer, but she kind of like traces the like broken porcelain lines across her face and just says a few words of thanks, not naming any particular deity. She feels this connection to a celestial being, but she doesn't know its nature. So it's very much a sort of thank you for keeping watch over me and helping me through this day. I think with this day especially, she'd be like, thank you for guiding my arrow to the crossbow, guiding my bolt to the wyvern and so on. Before she went to sleep.
Would she have gone up first?
No, I don't think so. I think she's the last person to go up.
You'd come into the room to two very heavily snoring dwarves, I think.
Nice. I imagine them just sleeping in a pile.
Yeah, I think you probably would have seen them go up the stairs, arm in arm, drinking with a cup, bashing them together as they walk up the stairs.
What is your background, Madriel?
I see Madriel as having spent most of her life doing what she loves. She hasn't been handed this sense of purpose by any mentor or anything like that. It's very much, since she was very young, self-driven. I see her as being born to a normal human family, but with this clear divergence from a normal human bloodline. The breaks across the, or what look like breaks across the skin of her face, which don't cause her any pain or anything, it's purely visual, have developed over time. So I think that it first started showing itself when she was like 3 or something, and then as she went through puberty, it cracked more and more and more. And she saw the ridicule she got as a reason to take up the wandering life and move away and become a healer. And I think the patron kind of came after she'd already decided to wander and try and help people.
Okay.
And it like slowly edged its way into her dreams and her awareness, and she noticed that she had powers that she didn't have before. Her touch would heal people more than just the herbs and such she used.
Yeah. So I imagine Ruby and Sapphire are probably sleeping on the floor, and you might be Nib might find herself you sort of see her laying like quite a neat bed set up. I imagine she's probably quite very, sort of brushes out all the kinks in the in the bed itself before she sort of lays her head back on the pillow, and you'd see Lil that kind of like grabs her beak and just sort of lightly pulls the bed sheets up and sort of like tucks her in almost as she's sort of laying there, and she sort of looks up to you, Madriel, who and you see the two dwarfs sort of sleeping on the floor, sort of in a big pile together, with just sort of like a mug of ale, like two empty mugs of ale next to him. You like Nib looks up at you and just sort of says, good night, keeper."
Sleep well, Nib. And you, Lil.
And you find yourself making your way into bed, and I imagine after you've done your ritual, you sort of remove some of your clothes and a more modest sort of gear, and find yourself climbing into bed, and as your head begins to sort of hit the pillow, you find yourself sort of slowly drifting off to sleep. And it's way too loud. It was not the music I was thinking it was. Excuse me, where is it? Bear with me one moment. So as your head hits the pillow, Madriel, your eyes go quiet, and Nib kind of rolls over in bed and looks over to your unconscious form, and the cracks in your skin slowly just sort of radiating slightly, like brighter than usual, this gold thing, and Nib kind of looks over and, almost half asleep, just kind of sort of stares quite intently at Madriel as you again these like this gold light permeating through the cracks in her skin. And as you sleep, you dream of walking through the halls of a small and modest church that at the end has a platform that raises up, that is surrounded by a set of stained glass windows that depict a large man in white robes with flowing blonde long hair, his skin as golden as said hair itself, with two angelic sets of wings that come out and meet the very edges of the stained glass windows. And you see the sun sort of just shines beautifully down on your face as you take each step closer and closer to the platform at the sort of head of this church. And you sort of look around and you see many of the seats and the benches within the church, the pews are filled with various people that you've healed throughout your life. And some people might otherwise have perished, sit up there and sort of look to you as you march down the centre of the aisle, and their smiles shine bright as the sun as you look up, just almost enraptured by its presence. It does not seem to hurt your eyes, and the sun almost seems as its brightness, despite not hurting your eyes, it seems to be growing larger now, or perhaps getting closer. It's quite hard to tell. And the sun, before you know it, rushes up to you as a welcoming ball of light. It envelops you, and you look around and you're no longer in the boat. And you are instead within open fields, beautiful nature around you, the sounds of birds cheeping Nib at your side. And above you in the sky, you just look up as the shadow begins to fly over you, much like the previous day. And as the shadow swoops down, it covers the sun for a moment, as if the clouds moving across its form. And then everything goes dark, and you slip back into a sense of pure unconsciousness. And for Nib, who is now intently staring, the slowly begins to die down, and things return to normal as your sleep passes undisturbed.
Shit. Awesome.
So you awaken within the tavern, and how do you spend your mornings? I imagine both the Ruby and Sapphire, despite drinking quite a lot, are pretty hardy and used to the effects of alcohol. I doubt a hangover would keep them from keep them from striding forward.
Definitely not. Yeah, they just get up and then they go downstairs. I don't think they have much of a morning routine other than go get a drink.
Yeah, so I would say it would, if you wanted to get any more drinks or food, for food and drink, it would be, for each would be a silver piece for each. So if you get any more money, feel free to remove that. And
how about a crossbow bolt?
Madria will pay again.
I'm gonna start to owe you, Madriel. Don't let me forget.
think nothing of it. Feeding is healing in a way.
Oh, drink, certainly heals the soul, if nothing else.
Well, perhaps later on.
Nib kind of sits down. Madriel, can you do an insight check for me?
Mm. And
You're not sure. He kind of sits down and is maybe a little bit more quiet than usual, but is just kind of quietly enjoying her.
Have you noticed anything different about Madriel at all, or
Do an insight check if you'd like.
insight?
Holy shit, an extra 20. Very little to notice, to be honest, but with a nat 20, you do slightly notice that some of the cracks in her face, like more of them, have formed.
Oh, maybe it's the wine. But you've got a few more cracks in your face there, lovey.
oh, Madriel reaches up and touches and runs her fingers over her face, finds that the new ones. That hasn't happened in a little while now. Interesting.
Well, I hope it's nothing to worry about. If you need to take a day, I'm sure we got time.
I feel fine. If anything, better than ever. Feel my my patron watching over me. And you would notice as well, I think, visually, there's it's not obvious, but occasionally there's a slight shimmer. I've taken the Eldritch Invocation to be able to cast False Life at will. So she's got an extra layer of vitality to her, gifted by her patron. But yeah, they don't hurt.
I don't suppose you worship Moradin, do you?
No. Though I've heard good things, and I know that Moradin has been right by the side of wounded dwarves who I've tended to before. For that I'm grateful.
Aye, Moradin watches over all our kind. Was never too much of a religious type myself. My parents were more, but I've always got a bit of a soft spot for Moradin.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just don't let it overwhelm your life,
Exactly, you got to live your life for yourself. The gods have got bigger problems than us to worry about.
Yeah, they got loads of holy people, they usually...
Well,
you know
the stories in the textbooks. I grew up, God, what is a dwarven fucking city in fucking, Forgotten Realms, because I cannot remember.
No idea.
Let's have a look. I did not. That might help actually. Oh, there we go. That'll do. Yeah, she says. I grew up in a long way to the north from here. Mithril Hall. Don't know if you're familiar. You do all do history checks if you want.
Yep. Nope.
I think you haven't really heard of it, Sapphire, but I think Madriel you might have heard. It's very far to the north, sort of part of the spine of the world. It's a very well-known dwarven stronghold that belongs to Clan Battlehammer, who lead the town in the Mithril Mine.
Oh yes, that's quite a way to the north.
Aye, and I've forgotten where I was going with this now. Moradin used to watch over us very much. They're very, very faithful people up there, and they used to always tell us that when we used to go to church I used to go to church as a wee lass. They used to say that Moradin keeps the demons from the abyss away, and so I imagine he's very busy doing that. I imagine. Can't imagine what a demon looks like, to be honest with you. Always want to find out.
But I
Very-
imagine quite ugly. Just imagine something ugly, and it's probably a demon.
Looks a bit like you then, Sapphire, maybe.
Oh, you joker, you.
A very important job, of course.
Oh, most certainly. Like I said, the gods have got more important things for a weird little Ruby and Sapphire to worry about. But clearly they've maybe taken interest in you, Keeper.
I'm not sure. I did. Perhaps you two can help me. I had a strange dream last night. It was pleasant until the end. I dreamed of walking through a humble church. I felt very at peace. The stained glass around the altar had a figure, an angelic figure with, do you say blonde hair, Natalie?
Yeah, like almost like more like gold, like pure golden hair.
Golden
With
hair.
golden skin as well.
Golden hair and golden skin, and I couldn't help but draw comparisons, and she touches the cracks in her face again. I don't suppose you know of any being or deity with this attribute?
You're looking at the wrong dwarf for that, I'm afraid. Sapphire, I don't suppose you do.
I ain't got no clue, but dreams. I don't think dreams mean much. I've dreamt about walking through a tavern of ale, and ale's just coming in my mouth the whole time, and it's great.
I once
So I don't
dreamt
think it
that
really
I
means
was
that.
a little mouse that was running away from a cat. Looked
Well,
just
that
like
is
myself. I could see myself in the dream, and had little mouse ears and a tail. Looked quite ridiculous, I assure you, but the cat was still interested.
And Nib kind of like can't help but stifle a little chuckle.
Probably the only one interested in you, eh?
Alright, you are. Well, I think in real life cats can't stand me, so, maybe they're getting their revenge and beyond the far realm, as it were.
Maybe not just cats, eh? And she winks at Ruby.
She kind of smiles.
Adriel smiles at the two of them and says, "Maybe you're right. When I was young and first wandering, I had the good grace to bump into a caravan of the Vistani people, if you've ever heard of them. But they would speak of dreams as containing great prophecies and interests to the individual, but I could be misremembering. It was a long time ago.
I'll tell you what, I think there is an acolyte or some sort I was talking to Miss Adabri yesterday on the journey home from Umbra Hill, and I said Sister Grail, I think it was, lives here. She worships some kind of deity. Perhaps asking her might help. She might have a bit of more of an idea.
I wouldn't want to delay our quest to help the dwarves. Do you
Well, I'm sure if you've got a moment, or perhaps you can pop by her place, see her afterwards.
I think I'd feel better heading off straight away.
Well, I like that
Thank
attitude. Oh, no need to thank me. I think that's a good mindset to take. It's a very dwarven, get your head stuck in attitude. Just make sure it doesn't get too stuck, eh? Right, well, I'm all breakfasted up and had a drink. Are you alright, little one?
She looks at Nib and Nib's like, oh yes, I'm fine. The porridge was very nice.
I can't stand porridge myself, that I stomach it. Yes, Sapphire, Keeper, you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. Let's get on.
I'm ready to go.
Which direction are we going?
Well, if I
I think it was north, right? No.
Let us mark it on the map.
She,
Southwest or
yes,
southeast?
It is southwest. I will move you over to
Mm.
the map. And I will reveal the location because you would quite easily be able to, with the information on the board, be able to determine what sort of lies in this direction.
Okay. Yeah. I thought it was that up here.
It's about, in total, about 17 miles to the location in total. So if you're moving at a normal pace, it would take you 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, sort of nearly 5 hours.
Oh, within the day.
Yeah. So you head out of Phandalin. Your the next step of your journey ahead of you as you march through open plains, not across any particular path as you head your way outwards and southwards with the Sword Mountains looming overhead. The air's fresh in your nose and the air is quite cold around this part of the Sword Coast, especially as you get closer and closer to the mountains, but the freshness almost sort of shoots up your nostrils and just really gives you that refreshing a refreshing breath every now and then that just sort of empowers your step forward and allows you to carry on. There's occasionally the squawk of an eagle goes on overhead, and you otherwise walk, making your way across open plains.
Aye, everyone's eyes to the sky. We know what happens when we say the name.
Right, you are.
Let me just double check something. What did I roll? About 12. That's fine. Can
Dragon swoops down.
you roll me somebody?
Come on, Tom.
5 d20 back to back, so one after the other.
8, 14, 13, 10, and 9.
Okay. So, what would you, your characters be doing over the course of these 5 hours as you walk through mostly open plains with the occasional cropping of trees and
The bit's mostly open. Probably just chatting. Looking to the sky occasionally.
Yeah, Metrio would be, I think, checking in with Nib, who's been quite quiet, and making sure that she's feeling okay and Lil's okay, and I don't know, just enjoying watching Lil fly around.
Nib would look up at you and after, especially after hearing you speak quite openly about your dream to both Sapphire and Ruby, she'd look up, and as you're sort of walking sort of separately from the dwarfs as they're kind of quite bantering amongst each other, she looks up at you and just says, Adriel, I'm sorry, I've been keeping something from you.
Oh?
Last night, you said about that dream you were having.
Yes.
Well, I woke up, I needed to use the restroom, and I noticed that your skin, the cracks in your skin were glowing, like a heartbeat.
Oh. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for telling me now. That's, as far as I know, not happened before.
I was worried, but it stopped, and then you seemed fine. I checked on you just like you said, make sure you were breathing properly, but I didn't want to wake you and disturb you, especially if we were doing this today.
Yeah, Madriel would smile and put a reassuring hand on Nib's shoulder. Without you, Nib, I wouldn't know that it happened at all. You did the right thing.
She sort of a kind of unsure frown kind of turns into a genuine smile at that, and she's like, I'm glad that I didn't disappoint you.
Not at all. How strange. Well, I definitely want to check in with the acolyte back in Phandalin. Garael. When we return, seems like this dream is doubly worth investigating. Thank you, Nib.
She nods and sort of smiles. Let's check something. Spaceship. Bear with me. So you find yourselves, as you're working more into open plains, as you get closer and closer to the mountain, you start to sort of come into a section of canyon. And the canyon's rocky walls eventually rise to a height of about 80 feet. At the end of the canyon, you see a 20-foot high wall of black stone has a broken gate carved into it, with one stone door hanging precariously by a hinge and the other door missing. Beyond this gate, in the shadow of a great mountain to the east, lies a ruined settlement. All is quiet. I will move you over to said map. Bit round. If you want to place your tokens over here for me.
Where?
Over here.
Don't see where you're.
Oh, I'm on
you're
GM
pointing.
layer, sorry. Over here.
Oh.
I just need to adjust the settings on the camera for the thingy because I'm not picking it up on the camera, which is a bit annoying. Let me.
What's not picking up?
Oh, don't worry, it's a recording issue thing. I'm just going to need to give the cameraman control of your characters. Madriel. There we go. Should. There we go, that works. So, let's place that. And let us get open. So the canyon floor is strewn with rubble and bereft of vegetation except for a few tough, scraggly weeds. Definitely a opposite of the sort of more grassy lands that led you here. And what are you all doing as you see this site before you? You get the impression this is definitely the location from the descriptions and everything you've been told.
Well, shit. Makes me think we're probably too late or something. Better get in there and see if anyone's, needing of help.
After you, Sapphire. I'll be right behind you. Everything alright, Keeper? Nib?
Nib kind of nods furiously.
Does this place look like a normal dwarven excavation?
Looks like a...
Do a religion check, Sapphire.
Religion.
See if you notice it before Ruby would.
14.
You get the impression it looks like a temple.
This is definitely more of the sort of religious side of things.
All that talk of Moradin. Maybe doesn't look like a temple to Moradin, though, I say that much. Those black gates.
I wonder what they're worshipping in there.
Who knows? Well, let's make our way inside, shall we?
If everyone's ready, could be anything.
I hope you don't mind. I'm going to... She puts her mask on. It gives me some comfort in unknown places.
Ah, token of confidence and power. I know just the thing. Mine's the warhammer, you see, and she swings it about, knocking it into the ground.
Yours seems a lot more practical.
I'm sure yours is in a different way. All right, I'm going in.
Yeah, you slowly begin to make your way inside. Just quickly.
Has Nib got the right HP? 9.
Yes, that is correct, I believe. Let me double check.
Mhm.
Her character
Species
Yes,
spellcaster.
9. She is rather
Very
squishy,
squish.
yeah.
Cool.
So, as you make your way into the second area, it looks like this once would have been a ruined, a dwarven settlement, but has since been ruined and vanished to time along with its original inhabitants. Much of the walls have been crushed by rock and rubble. You think rubble probably once buried the settlement, although it looks like perhaps whatever excavation has taken place has sort of moved a lot of it away, leaving these outlines of stone buildings that are visible just as sort of collapsed walls. On the far side of the ruins is looks like a stone well that is filled to the brim with rubble. Perhaps you get the impression that a lot of the rubble has been chucked down this well. The settlement's thoroughly ransacked. If you were to search these ruins, you might find amongst you like a few crushed dwarf bones and the signs of recent campfires, but nothing particularly of interest to you. However, on the far east side, you do notice that there's a further set of doors like built into the sort of the black iron, sort of like hanging open.
Well, I can't see anyone immediately. She's just going to stroll on in.
Yeah, as you get closer, Sapphire, you notice that on the far east side, there's a partially collapsed 10-foot high wall separating the courtyard from the settlement west of it that you're currently passing through. There's 3 heaps of rubble piled high in this area, hewn from the canyon's back wall. A 30-foot high temple facade features steps rising to a stone platform as you get closer and closer to the east. Cut into this facade is a 10-foot high open doorway flanked by crumbling, life-size granite statues of cloaked dwarfs. Evil grins can be seen on their weather-worn faces. At this distance, on the very edge of your distance, you can just about see 2 dwarves, one female and one male, sitting, eating rations, sort of behind next to the easternmost sort of rubble pile, and they're sort of watching up at the entrance. They don't seem to have noticed you at the moment.
This ain't no Moradin, no, that's for sure.
I trust in your judgment, Ruby, Sapphire. I'll let you lead here.
Okay. Are these walls like any kind of blockade, or are they just flat?
They're made of stone, but they're like partially collapsed.
And these ones we're standing behind?
Oh, they're like barely a foot tall. They're more outlines than actual like cover.
So they can essentially just see us. Like we're just standing in the middle of nowhere now.
Yeah, they don't, but they haven't seemed to notice you so well. They seem to be staring at the temple, and even the noise doesn't seem to particularly carry well in here. Maybe muffled by the rubble and the stone.
I mean, we don't know their intentions. I don't think sneaking up on them is going to do us, much good. This may not be, Moradin, but it may not be, I mean, the statues look pretty menacing, but it's not like they're evil. Let's go kill them.
I trust your judgment, Sapphire.
Good. Well, I've got great judgment.
I will remind you that the quest of the quest notes, I will post it in chat
It was
just
to warn the.
so you've got an idea of what you're heading into. Dwarf prospectors found ancient dwarven ruins of the mountains southwest of here and have been working an archaeological dig seeking treasure and relics. They need to be warned that a white dragon has moved into the area. Take the warning to
Okay.
him, then return to Talmaster Harbin West to collect a reward of 50 gold pieces.
Well, we're just here to warn them, so let's just walk straight up. Hey there, guys, fellow dwarves.
You see the female dwarf kind of looks up and is like,
Ah, nice to see another dwarf. Another fellow dwarf in these parts.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say so the same, but it would be better circumstances. We're on a mission here to warn you of, well, I don't know if you've seen it already, a flying lizardly beast roaming the skies.
Oh, really? Blimey,
Indeed.
that's awful. And you see that sort of man sort of grunts a bit and is like,
shouldn't just, talk to strangers, Dazzlin. These could be, Zentarim folk or something. They could, we need to watch our tongue.
and she's like, oh, quiet, you old fool. Just don't listen to him. He's always so nervous about everyone. He's like,
I'm not nervous about anyone. I'm just perfectly cautious about everything. I just, oh,
I have a healthy caution, nothing against that, but we are genuinely here just to warn you guys of the potential impending doom.
well, I appreciate you making the journey here all the way here for us. That's very kind of you. We'll certainly keep an ear out and an eye out. However, well, there's we've got quite the well, if you're since you're here, if you wanna, sorry, I'm a bit stumbling over my words today. If you wanna, since you made it all the way here, I mean, it seems awfully silly. We look quite hardy folk. Are you hardy folk?
Well, we certainly are. We're quite the group. Well, what you got in mind?
Well, we've been tasked with excavating this old temple. Some archaeologists found it, and well, we're just sort of, we're the grunts they sent up here to, to sort stuff out, move all these rocks. He looks at a pile of rocks. She's like, move 2 of these myself, and the Norbus across is like,
I did most of the work.
She's like,
sense.
oh, shush you. And she's like, we've encountered some strange creatures within.
Oh, what kind of creatures?
I mean, Norbus saw them in more detail than I did. I mostly ran with my tail between my legs. Norbus, and he's like,
We should be telling these folk about, what we saw. I mean, they might think we're crazy and try to have us locked up in the jails in Waterdeep.
and she's like, just tell him, you blooming prick.
He's like, they were. They don't even know what they were like, really. They were all like, it was like a horrible orange kind of oozy substance. It just
All right.
was slinking across the ground, dripping from the walls and ceilings. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't that scared, but I don't want to get. I'm not paid enough for dealing with monsters and all that. They told us it was all
Sounds
clear.
pretty gross. And I assume you need these things gone. I mean, to be honest, is your boss inside? Do we need to Go to him directly.
It's just us two.
Just you two,
Yeah,
eh?
it's just us two left here. Me and just us two. Yeah, I have to keep reminding myself of that. Yeah.
Oh.
If I mean, we'd be willing to. I mean, she pulls out of her bag and she says, "We've got a pair of sending stones. I mean, we don't really have any gold to offer you, but I mean, they're pretty. I mean, we don't really use them, to be honest. I don't want to talk." She kind of whispers, "I don't want to talk to him in my spare time." But you know, you could take both of them if you want.
Well, I mean, that'd be very useful. But you know, a dwarf's in need. You know, I'm willing to help anyway. She looks to Ruby, gives her a thumbs up, looks behind, waits for a response.
Madriel looks at Nib.
Nib sort of like looks a bit nervous, but it says, "Well, we did take on a manticore. I'm sure maybe there's not even anything in there. There just might be. Maybe he saw something.
I didn't see nothing. There was definitely something in there. It's all gross and moving and ugh.
No, we've handled a dragon, we've handled a manticore in the last just day. I'm sure we can handle some jelly ooze.
I'm sure it's just Norbus seeing things. You know what old dwarves are like in their old. He's at old age, and he's like, "I'm not old. I'm experienced." And she says,
Could be true. If we see any amber in something,
there might be nothing in there, but I mean, I don't want to risk it. You never know. You know, you hear these horror stories about, you know, old tombs and temples like this. I mean, I'm not, you know, if you could even just search the temple and make sure it's safe, then I'd be, you know, like I said, happy to give you both our sending stones. Does that sound agreeable?
sounds agreeable to me. I'm willing to clear out a dangerous area if you guys are.
If you you know, if you find anything in there, you're welcome to. We could split it 50-50.
I mean, that's very generous. You know, I've not done any other work to excavate it. But,
I mean, we cleared out quite a
not
lot of the
down.
entrance area, so you know. Actually, we did one thing that is cool. We found and she kind of like leans in slightly, not too far to make sure she doesn't see anything, but she sort of like points off to the sort of like north side of the chamber. She's like, we found a secret door. That's pretty cool, right?
Oh, secret door. Those do usually yield pretty good results.
Yeah, you always hear stories about, you know, dangerous temples and finding, you know, stuff like that. But it's pretty cool to find it.
Oh, definitely. Maybe we'll check it out. You know, with everything going cushy.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I mean, well, thank you. That will definitely speed up our work if you can just make sure it's safe and that. And like I said, you can keep half the stuff if you want.
Oh well, we'll go take a look round. Looks for approval behind her.
Yeah, Madriel nods.
Yeah, Nim kind of nods as Madriel does.
All right. Well, we'll go check out the inside. You be careful here on the outside. Like I said, you know, there's flying lizard beasts around. You know the kind.
Yeah, we'll be careful and be careful in there. She kind of points down into like, excuse me. She points down into like the main chamber and is like, I think that's where Norbus saw the thing, so be careful in there.
Alright, well, I'll go first.
It's easy. Apologies, hay fever attack. Do you mind controlling Ruby's token as well, Hannah? With me?
Yeah, sorry, I meant to be doing it, but
You can drag them together if you want, if it's easier. So yeah, you sort of begin making your way down, and immediately to your north, you can see that they've the secret door lies open. You can see that they've excavated much of this this room. That's you know, there's lots of rocks been taken out. It looks like there's nothing of value inside, or at least if there was, he's definitely taken it out.
she whispers behind her. There's one secret door. There could be more. Keep your eyes out, I suppose.
Lying at the Nib would sort of light up a torch as well.
Oh yeah, behind the torches.
Keeper Madriel will touch Sapphire's hammer and cast light
Oh yeah,
on it.
Nib would do the same.
Nice.
Actually, I forgot she's got light. At the sort of far end of this room ahead of you, Sapphire, you notice that there is a blood-stained limestone altar standing at the far end of the room.
Never a good sign with something like a table with blood on it. Oh, well, unless they've been chopping chickens or something.
Can you do, both of you, do perception checks?
Mm-hmm.
I'll just quickly check some. Sorry, bear with me.
She is looking out for ooze as well.
So as you're sort of stepping closer, let me end.
Mm-hmm.
1 second, actually. Okay, so Sapphire, you don't notice anything, but as Sapphire's stepping closer and closer, Madriel, you not only notice one sort of sticky, so as you light up the shield, you see the reflection, and there's like this sticky, orangey, like greeny substance that's sort of hanging from the wall above the altar. But you not only notice that, there's also one to sort of the south as well that's also hanging above.
Yeah, Madriel would shout out immediately. Look out, Sapphire! To your left!
And
To my left.
as you sort of
He
look
turns
to
around.
them, you start to see this like this sort of oozy substance like and lands in front of you. Can you
Nice.
please all roll initiative for me?
Yeah.
I'm going to try something a bit
Oh my
different
gosh.
here, and I'm
It's
going to
big.
try rolling initiative separately because I've been wanting to do this for a little
Ooh.
while. The enemies. And
Yeah.
it's, so let's.
Should I shuffle down a bit?
Oh yeah, you can move yourself appropriately around if you want. Let's put.
I hope it's alright, Natalie. I took the maximum on false life because I can do it at will.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So I just thought Madriel would do it until...
Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. Oh, got pretty good that one. That was the Aqua Jelly 1, that's Aqua Jelly 2. Not so good though. Okay. Let's adjust that and then let's make some more appropriate music. So, the first Aqua Jelly is going to sort of. Oh, let me just quickly read something. Can move through a space narrow, so it's very narrow. So yeah, it sort of slides through the point up to behind Ruby, and is going to make an attack. I'm just going to lower the volume a little bit, so it's a little bit loud for me. Okay. And it is going to make an attack against Ruby.
Oh, I'm going to impose disadvantage.
Oh.
Doesn't hit anyway.
It doesn't hit anyway, so it does miss. As this like out from the ooze, this kind of almost like arm-shaped thing, just like tries to like slam into her, and you just sort of like elbow Ruby, who instantly just puts her shield up and blocks it.
No.
Madriel, it's your go.
Cool. So... True. Nothing super scary yet, so I think we'll just go with a Sacred Flame on the one closest. So this one here. Dex
Okay,
save.
that's Dex save. Yeah, not particularly dexterous, as you might imagine. Quickly read something. Yeah, that's fine. Dex save. It definitely fails.
Oh, it takes 1 radiant damage.
Oh, nice.
Pajau.
No.
And with no one hurt, that will end my turn.
Okay, Ruby.
I will step behind this pillar.
Yes, that's fine. Ruby.
Ruby is bringing out the longsword. Boom.
23 definitely hits. Which one is she aiming from? The one next to her?
Yeah, this one down here.
Quickly read something. Ooh, interesting. So... is... Sorry, I'm just doing some maths.
Mm-hmm.
That much. So as she slams into it, like cuts
Mhm.
through, she cuts through the jelly, and
Yes.
the jelly splits in half. So
Yeah.
let me...
Didn't realise you wanted 2 targets instead of 1, Ruby.
We'll split up here, and then these would have this much, and this would have this much. And then I am going to call this one Awkward Jelly 3. No wait, that was the original token, wasn't it? Oh, I can't remember now. Well, I guess we'll find out. Awkward Jelly 1 was 15 AC initiative. Let's call this one Awkward Jelly 3.
Mm-hmm.
Change anything? Oh, it did. So we'll keep that one on 15. So this one is Awkward Jelly 1. So we'll roll initiative for this one. 8. That's 6 rather. There we go, perfect. And descending. That one's gone. Rubies go. Cool. They go back to back anyway, which is fine. Well, not those two, the other one. Anything else from Ruby, or is that her turn?
That's her turn.
Nibs go.
Nibbathy. No one's yet hurt, so again, I think Nib will back up a little bit. And Firebolt is closest one.
Yeah, very nice.
Headshot.
Definitely hits the 21.
Sniper Nib continues. Hup. Oh!
Oh,
Nice.
very nice.
Good rolls
damage.
over here.
Nib just like sort of, I imagine she runs her hand over her arm, and sort of Lil jumps down onto it, and she sort of like does these arcane runes in the top of her hand, and then Lil opens her mouth, and it almost looks like she opens her hand at the same time. It almost looks like Lil is bursting the fire out of her mouth as it comes towards the jelly and slams into the side of it, leaving this, like, where the jelly was, kind of this huge black sinking mark of like where some of the fires just like burn into the side.
Awesome.
Jelly 1 is this one, which is going to go on Ruby. Is that right? That is, yeah, because it's split, didn't it, and a re-rolled initiative.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I'm going to keep it the same for now. I don't think I should have done that because that makes it a bit, maybe a bit unfair.
Mm-hmm.
But let's. It's going to attack on Ruby. It does miss though with a 11.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got the big jelly at number 2.
Big
Who is going to attack Sapphire
Mm-hmm.
for a 21, unless.
Impose disadvantage.
Yep, I thought so.
Yeah.
20 though.
Oh, still hits, yeah.
4. Oh, big damage roll.
Chunky damage.
16 points of damage in total.
Oh.
Oof.
Yeah, these things hit hard if they can hit. That is its go though. Sapphire, it's your go now.
Oh, that was a big hit, Jenny. But, you know, one can only retaliate. She swings up her hammer, brings it down. 5 damage, bludgeoning.
Yeah, 5 points of bludgeoning damage. On the big one, I assume.
On the big one, yeah. And she's gonna second wind already.
Yeah, that's fine. Bonus action for that.
Fine.
Not great roll, but 5 points of healing back. Anything else, or is that your turn?
That's my turn.
Okay, the third Ochre Jelly is going to attack Ruby. 17, it does miss.
It does.
She parries it with her shield.
She pick up a shield.
Madriel, it's your go.
Andrew will step out, seeing the damage that the big one did. Action. Gonna cast Create Bonfire underneath the big one.
Ooh.
Is that a dex save?
It is indeed.
It's a 6. 3
3
points
fire
of
damage. But it stays there, and if it ends its turn on it, it will continue to take damage.
I will get
Um,
the fire token.
And then, bonus action, haven't forgotten about Sapphire, we'll do 2d6 of my healing light. As she raises up her hand, and it shimmers with golden light. 2d6. What? 10 HP back.
Oh, damn. Very good.
Did you want it there, Tom? Just on the top of it?
Yeah. That's good, thank you.
Okay.
Sapphire gives a grateful nod as she readies a warhammer again.
Okay, up next it is Ruby's go.
I think she hasn't really got any other weapon. She's just going to longsword it again. This one on the top. This one here.
Yeah.
Hey.
Natural 20 definitely hits. Will be maximized damage for you guys. Not maximized against you to level 3 though. So that would be 8 plus 2 is 10, plus another 2 is 12 points of damage. Which is enough to instantly just eviscerates it. It just swings, and you see it as it's split down the center. You see it's almost trying to form into 2 different floors, but they slowly just sink down and just sort of like dissipate into like a horrible oozy liquid across the floor. She's like, I got one before you, Sapphire. Now it's your turn.
Oh, I'm getting the big one. Yeah, I get double the time.
Nibs go.
Nib. Things can hit hard. Yeah, let's do at least one spell. We'll do a magic missile on the big one.
Very nice.
Oh.
I think you have to press it multiple times, annoyingly.
Much of that. 2, 3.
7. Oh, nice. 11 points of damage.
Pew pew pew.
Automatically hits. Boom, 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 boom. As all these like missiles fire out of Nib, who's just like sort of twerking one finger after the other, like pew, 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 sort of thing. In that direction, just fires out, and they all coalesce at once and hit into the jelly that kind of like just hitting into the side as sort of causes these like sort of dents in it that sort of like and then comes back out comes back out.
Nice.
That is her turn, I assume, then, unless she wants to do anything else.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, the Ochre Jelly up here is going to try and attack Sapphire again.
Yeah, disadvantage.
It's been her turn.
I think it's been Ruby's turn, has it not?
Yep.
Oh, it has, yep, so she can impose disadvantage. So only a 12 with the disadvantage thanks to Ruby.
Nice.
So it does miss you. Very, very powerful.
Double
frontline
shields.
combo. There's a reason they call you the bad luck bulwarks.
Yeah.
And Sapphire. It's
Oh,
your
and
turn.
it needs to do a deck save
Oh,
at the end of its
It
turn.
does need to do a dex save, and I don't think it's smart enough to move out of there, to be honest with you. I guess it
Oh!
a 20 though to an 18.
Nice.
So it does manage to
Yep,
move
no
out
damage.
the way of the fire slightly. Sapphire, it is your go.
Okay, another Warhammer attack. Oh.
10 does hit. These
Oh.
are not hard to miss. 10 points of damage.
Damage.
bludgeon into it. You just feel some of the sticky goo kind of remain on your hammer afterwards.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to clean this after.
Is that your turn?
Oh no, Ruby made a jab. Ruby made a jab, so she's gonna action surge.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
16 hits, another 7 points of damage. However, it
Yeah.
still hasn't quite gone down yet.
Damn it.
It's definitely like bits of it are flying off, and you just hit into it, and like a big section of it just goes flying off and just splatters up against this blood-stained altar. Now not
I've
only
nearly
splattered with blood, but all splattered with ooze.
Double splats. Oh, I nearly got mine. You better get that little second one.
Right, you are.
First, though, the Okra Jelly does try and attack. Are you posing disadvantage, I assume?
Yeah.
11 does miss. So,
Nice.
God, you guys are a fucking brutal tank combo at the front.
Pretty
Yeah.
strong little squad, to be honest.
Yeah, it is a very good little squad. Up next it is Madriel's go.
Madriel, keep it simple, so maintaining concentration on great bonfire. And we'll cast essentially double down on it. Sacred Flame, big one. So
Yep.
Dex 14. So quick blow.
Yeah, 2. Oh, and it is
Oh, 8.
barely hanging on. Like the remains of it are like trying to like reach up and slap at you, Sapphire. But you can see much of the parts are just sort of like these bits of ooze are like bubbling up now, and these little bubbles are kind of popping up into the air, and they're kind of floating above with the sort of the air from all the fire that's going, and then they just sort of like pop up in the air and sort of singe up into the fire as these little bits of ooze kind of catch a light.
Sapphire chuckles a little bit. She's just like, look at this thing trying to get me.
Ruby says, "Now it's my turn." And I assume she's gonna
Indeed.
swing down and attack. 17 hits. 5 slashing damage. Cool. Shing. Ooh, but
Shing. That's what we have.
as you slash in, you do notice that with the not enough damage to do, the creature almost seemingly takes no damage.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You think you probably have to do a certain amount of slashing damage to even sort of manage to cut through properly. Like she stabs downwards, but the sort of the amorphous form of the jelly almost like curls around her sword, and she's trying to cut through, but it's not quite enough to cut through. She's like, I can't get through it.
Yeah, fair enough. That's our turn though.
Nibs go.
Pew pew. Firebolt towards the one fighting Ruby.
A 10 hits.
Hey. Oh my
Oh
god!
my gosh.
Oh, Nibs a boss. Again, once more, the same kind of like almost pose, like raising one foot up against the other leg, resting it on there, almost like Aang from fire bending kind of poses, and shoots out a fireball in that direction, and firebolts are in, blast into the side of this Okra Jelly.
Nice.
It is the Okra Jelly's turn. It's desperately slapping out at Sapphire now. I'm assuming Ruby is disadvantage.
Yeah.
It's a nat one with a disadvantage, and it's just like limply thrashing about. I will do a dex save for it because it is. Yeah, and with that, the rest of it, as it limply slaps out at you, Sapphire, it kind of catches your foot, and then it just sort of like, and the rest of it kind of burns away.
Oh, quick step away. Burning like a sizzle.
Up next is Sapphire yourself.
She sort of steps over this ooze. She's like, well, guess I'm gonna have to help you, Ruby. Stands over, sort of legs apart over this ooze.
Yeah.
I'll hammer it.
9 bludgeoning damage, definitely. It's very little left of this creature now. Most of it's been splattered all over the pillars next to you.
Nice. That's it.
It does get 1 attack on you though. Ruby, I assume, is posing disadvantage.
Yeah.
So it's going to... No, a 9 does miss. Madriel, it's your go. This barely limping alive jelly.
Yeah, she'll do. Sacred Flame.
Dex save.
Oh lord.
Does
One
fail.
again.
One
Yeah, the
radiant
one again.
damage.
Still hanging on in there though. Only the 1. Finally comes down to Ruby.
Yep.
Perhaps.
Long sword.
That's it. But again, just doesn't have an effect
Gosh.
on the jelly with that little damage. It's like,
No.
stupid thing! Looks like it might be down to Nib, who kind of readies herself.
Oh yeah, one shot, one nib.
Hmm.
Oh
Just
no!
Oh.
misses though as it slams into the side of the pillar.
I'm sorry, Nib, I cursed you.
Oh
I
no.
thought I had it. Finally, it does come down to Sapphire though.
Oh, I guess it's my turn again.
And
Ooh.
with that, the
Whack it,
remainder
git.
of the jelly is just crushed into a fine dust as you hear your whammer slam into the stone floor, the carved stone floor below, and you just hear like it echo out this sound of across the room. And with that, combat is over.
Nice. Sapphire turns to Ruby and gives her a not too hard, but a bit of a bash of her warhammer on her shield. Looks like we're a good team, but 2 against 2 versus 1 now. You got 1 point, I got
it's
2.
not fair. You had the right weapon for the job. I was stuck with this silly thing. Have to get something new when we get back to Old Fandolin, I reckon.
True, yeah, maybe a mace, I think that'd suit you.
Good idea.
Think about it. See if we've got the gold,
Right, I guess we should have a look around.
You 2 did good, especially you, Nib. I've seen all those fireballs hitting these things, eh?
Thanks, I'm sorry I missed the last one.
That's alright. I think I'll probably stand in the way, Hard to get an aim through this tiny gap.
Yeah, it was quite difficult. I did my best though. I'm glad no one
Yeah.
was properly hurt or anything.
Not used to working with a team, I'll try and watch my shield position.
You two are amazing. You cover each other's backs so well.
Oh, that's how we've survived. These shields have done us well, haven't they, Ruby? She sort of bashes her shield against hers in sort of union.
Yeah, and Ruby's like,
Right she is, lass, right she is. But we would have never got as far as we have without you two keeping watching our back. I say we make quite the good team. I think sooner or later we'll have to get a new name for our little group together. The Bad Luck Bulwarks doesn't quite fit with the rest of you.
Oh, I'd have to think of something else.
I'm terrible at names, but Sapphire higher here came up with the Bad Luck Bulwarks, but I'm sure you can all think of something better than I ever could.
I'm sure we'll think of something eventually.
My suggestion was Hammer and Sword, but apparently that's a bit boring.
I mean, it's not bad. I don't think it encompasses the great healing of Madriel here, which, thanks, by the way. I was feeling a bit of a worse for wear halfway through that.
My genuine pleasure. Think nothing of it.
Oh no, I'm going to be thinking about it all day, That's something I'm not going to, forget.
Well,
Except maybe after a few drinks, but then you got to remind me, though, yeah?
I'll make sure to do so. I think there's perhaps something in your name is Sapphire, yours is Ruby. I have gold. My skin.
I was thinking just the same. What about you, Nib? What do you associate your colour with?
she kind of looks down to She looks down to Lil, who's the little goldfinch, and says, I always thought me and Madriel were, bonded with, gold with me and Lil, and rubs her hair slightly, which is also golden blonde.
Mm-hmm. I have to think of something with gold in it, Ruby.
Golden gems? I don't know, I'm useless.
Well,
Never
I'm
was a
sure it'll
wordsmith.
come. I'm sure it'll come. But in the meantime, we should probably look at this blood.
Yeah, you look down. It looks like whatever blood once lied here. It's just very old. It's almost black upon the altar.
Is it like all over the altar? Does it look like it's been stabbed in one place? Or
It looks like maybe something's been killed upon the altar, and then the blood just sort of is completely sort of drained out of the body, just completely staining the sides, and sort of like small gap where the body might have lied, but it's definitely sunk through there regardless. So it's definitely all over.
all over the floor?
It's more just staining the sides of the altars. There might be a little bit on the floor, but you think maybe dust and other things have made it difficult to see. But you can definitely see upon the altar itself is looks like maybe a sacrificial altar, maybe.
Well, I can tell you something died. Don't know what. Don't know how. What else? I can tell you that much.
Madriel's first instinct is actually to inspect the jellies, just to see if she thinks there might be anything useful in a medicinal way, parts of their bodies.
Yeah, do a medicine check for me.
13.
You think their bodies look... let me just double check something. You do get the impression that their bodies might sort of be maybe more resistant to certain like chemicals, like maybe like a more acid kind of thing. So you think that they might be used to treat their sort of oozy substance might be used to treat like maybe like acid burns and things like that.
Awesome. Yeah, she would try and take some samples.
Yeah, you think we would probably take you sort of maybe 8 hours of like work to fashion something that might be able to grant someone with sort of healing to acid or something like that, or resistance.
Cool.
What are the rest of you doing? What else are you doing, Frost?
So far, I was just having a casual look around. Anything on these pillars?
Do a perception check for me. I think Ruby would be helping you as well, so you can roll with advantage.
Okay.
Natural 20, very nice. So you look around these pillars, Sapphire, and you look that in the pillar itself, you see like there's like almost like a bit of rock. Like most of like a lot of these pillars are like cracked, and you see one of the pillars is like a part of it's completely fallen off. But another part of the pillar is almost like a crack in it that looks less natural and looks more like designed. And you kind of like sort of reach into the side of it, sort of like picking at it with your sort of fingers before Ruby comes along and says, "And this is where fucking I went fucking Russian. This is where the sword comes more in use, dear." And she kind of like pokes the edge of the long sword and clicks it out, and this like little door kind of in the pillar kind of so it slides open, like revealing like a cavity. As you open it though, like a number of like dwarven skulls that look like dwarven skulls like tumble out the door. But at the bottom of the cavity you do notice that there's a stone coffer.
Ooh.
And if you were to look inside the stone coffer, it would contain 15 small gemstones, you think probably worth about 10 gold pieces each.
Wow.
Very nice. Was it 15?
15, yeah. So you can have 15, let me quickly look at my value of gems.
Any sapphires?
It depends how much they're worth. Gem prices.
I remember sapphires being pretty
I
pricey.
think they are, yeah. So you can either add agates, azurites, quartz, hematites, lapis lazuli, malachites. I don't know. It should say on D&D Beyond what they're worth, but I don't know if this is accurate. I just found a forum post. It says sapphires are worth much more. They're worth like 1,000 gold pieces.
Oh, damn, Jesus.
Yeah. Agates, how much are they worth?
She would like pick it up. This little, she was. It's in a coffer, right? So could she just pick them up in a hand, or is the coffer pick up a ball? How big is
Yeah,
it?
you could pick it up. Yeah, it's a sort of a standard
Heavy?
size coffer.
Okay.
Yeah, azurites are all worth 10 gold pieces in D&D Beyond, so just add 10 azurites if you want.
Looks like we found some jewels. I'm sure the dwarves out the front will want some.
Aye, we agreed to split 50-50. I suppose this is their excavation site, even if we did all the heavy lifting, as it were. Unless you found another little secret door, though. Maybe there's more in this place. They said
Well,
they
like I
found
said
one as
before,
well.
you know, one secret door. There are probably many more. So I like that saying, you know. Somebody said it once to me. Gonna look for some more secret doors.
Yeah, do another perception check with advantage for me.
Oh.
I think based off... Yeah, I think even with searching, you're struggling to find any others. The temple's so choked with like dusty rubble that you think you'd need to really spend maybe another 2 hours searching, like, to really find anything. You think you could, maybe there might be more secret doors, but you think you probably would really need to search for another sort of, I'd say another hour actually, to make another check. Depends if you want to use that time. I'd say it is, you probably would have left maybe Fandlin around 8 AM, so now it's like 1 in the afternoon, maybe nearly 2.
Oh, there must be more than this one. I'm gonna look a bit harder.
Maybe we should leave that looking to someone who's a bit got a bit more better eyes than us two, hey Sapphire?
Well, I mean, we can all search. I'm sure my Warhammer's got some better eyes than I do. She starts hammering these pillars. But not super hard, just like enough to hear if it's like hollow. I don't know if you can do that on rock, but we'll see.
Nib's got a wisdom of 14, so could search, or I don't know what yours is, Madriel.
Perception. Perception is a +3, so slightly worse than Nibs.
Perception is only +2 because he doesn't have proficiency in it, so I think you would be the best. Nib would help you if you did want to search. Would take about another hour, like I said. Yeah,
21.
I think you'd quite easily find a number of secret doors around here.
Ooh.
With a 21, I'd say you find all of them. There is one. Get a good colour. There's one over here. There's one over here. One over here. One over here.
Oh my god.
Here.
There's no symbol on the altar, right? No symbols?
Do a investigation check for me.
Investigation. No modifier. Oh my days. Nat 20.
You look underneath the sort of blood where it's stained, and it's hard to make out with all the dust and like old dry blood that's marking it black, but you kind of like scratch some of it away, and underneath you see what looks like the shape of a dagger with the end of it, where the hilt is like shaped in this like the shape of a like a jewel, like crimson gem. If you want, you can do, and if anyone else is helping, I'd say because you're a dwarf, Sapphire, you can do it with advantage, but otherwise you can both do religion checks.
Sure.
Yeah. So wait, I get advantage?
Yeah, because you're a dwarf. Quite a high DC. You're not
religion check, you say?
Yeah. Neither of you are
16.
sure, actually.
Oh.
You're not You almost think you recognise it's Sapphire, but you're just like, I can't
Oh,
quite
man.
place it.
Something familiar about it. Can't, I ain't got the answer there.
It's okay. We can always ask the dwarves outside.
Maybe they will know. Well, you found a lot of secret passages. Or cupboards. Guess we could break them open and see.
Sounds good.
Where should we start, Sapphire? You got the hammer.
I do have the hammer. I'll do like a bit of, clockwise. Let's start with this one up here.
Yeah, you bash it open, revealing a small narrow passage ahead.
It's a passage. Let's look out for, make sure we don't see more of them jellies, eh? Gonna put a shield in front of her and walk forward.
Yeah, you slowly make your way around. You can do a perception check if you want.
Mm-hmm. Real good at perception. Oh.
Yeah, you're pretty confident there doesn't seem to be any jellies noticeably nearby.
No jellies just yet. Oh, what's that on the end?
Looks like there's a small, narrow door in the very end.
Gonna bash it.
And bash it open, and revealing beyond, you see there are 3 stone bed frames that stand against the east wall. It looks quite, compared to the first part of the temple, it's still quite dusty in here, but it almost looks quite regal. It's like there are sort of looks like stone built into the stone at the top is a place where like cloth hangs down almost like a curtain next to the bed, but the cloth and material is weathered, old, moth bitten. It's quite ruined and rotten, much of it eaten away. So you can do a insight check if you'd like.
Yeah.
No, you're not. Yeah.
Steps inside. Pretty dusty. Perhaps more secret passages if anyone wants to come in and have a look.
I'll help you look.
You want to do a perception check, or if you want Madriel to.
Yeah, maybe we should have the eagle eyes do it, maybe.
Probably a good idea.
Not so eagle.
No, you don't find anything this time, Madriel.
As
That's
she's
good.
looking, I think because it's quite a small room, Sapphire's just going to go lightly bash all the walls with her hammer.
Yeah, if you wanted to, you could probably spend another hour searching for secret doors in here if you wanted to. But again, you're up to sort of 2 o'clock now, based on your previous search. So if you want to spend another hour searching here, you could make another check.
There must be something in here. Maybe one of us should just have a look in here, and the rest of us toddle off to the other ones. Or too dangerous, maybe. I'm not bothered.
Go by your judgment.
You keep looking if you want, or we can double back and look at one of the other ones.
We'll look at this one later if we got time. It's probably just some dusty beds, Gonna go bash the other one.
Yeah, if you bash the other one, it reveals another corridor beyond.
Steps inside. Caution is going to the wind, as there's not much in these corridors so far.
Yeah, make another perception check for me.
Yep.
It doesn't appear to be anything as far as you can tell.
Oh, this one looks like it's getting a bit narrow at the bottom there. I don't think we can get through that. Or can we? Hello?
it does get to a point where it's very like crumbled and the rock is sort of falling apart off the wall. But as you're getting closer and closer to this kind of narrow section, Sapphire, suddenly from above splats down another jelly, like crashing down into you.
Ah,
Love it.
Can the rest of you also do perception checks to see if you would have noticed it as it was crashing down? Madrio, you would have spotted it as it was starting to fall, so you won't be surprised. Nib will be surprised, and Ruby, please, Hannah.
Oh, that's
Ruby
plus
is
3
not
as well.
surprised.
Yep.
So we will, everyone, please all roll initiative once more.
These jelly. Oh, bit of a squish in this hallway, but we got this.
Right, Nib is up first, but is surprised. Sapphire, you were also surprised. Madriel, you are not surprised.
It's Ruby on the turn
Ruby,
order.
yeah, sorry, Hannah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, hang on. I did press it, but apparently it didn't go through.
Okay, let me go again then from the top. So Ruby is not surprised, so Ruby's up first.
Ruby. She can only do longbow from here. So I think she'd have it out though.
It would be on her back, it wouldn't take an action to change it, anything you've got.
Okay. You should do longbow then.
Oh,
Hey.
20, nice. So that would be maximised, so extra 2 damage, so 13 points of damage as the arrow pierces in
Yeah.
to the jelly.
Nice. That's their second crit.
Yes.
Yes.
And Nib is surprised, Sapphire's surprised. Madriel, you are not surprised though.
Definitely. Great bonfire.
Fire from arrow. 8 points of damage. Let me do the dex save for it. It's a 6, so it does fail. So 8 points. Is the jellies go?
Jelly. Disadvantage. I think it has to be next to me, I think. But
It would be a straight roll, I think, because it would be attack
Oh,
from the
surprise.
hidden.
If it's like the normal imposed disadvantage thing,
Yeah.
I think you got to be next to the baddie.
I'll put it in the
sideways,
thing because I don't know.
Yeah,
Let me put it in the thing.
I mean, it misses anyway, so. When a creature you can see attacks a target other than you that was within 5 feet of you, no, so it has to be in 5 feet.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Wait, let me read that. When a creature you can see attacks a target other than you that is in 5 feet of you.
Yeah. That's all good.
Wouldn't that have to be within 5 feet of Ruby, though?
No,
Oh,
it's
I see.
No,
a
it's
creature
in
you can
5 feet of
see attacks
Yeah,
Sapphire, who is within 5 feet of Ruby.
yeah. Okay, yeah. Cool. Yeah, it misses anyway, so. Ruby's go again.
Ruby's go and do another longbow. Oh, actually, that's a good point. Actually, because longbow you have to have 2 hands, right? So she might not have her shield out with doing longbow attacks.
Yeah, so AC would be slightly lower.
So AC would be lower, but also she couldn't do the fighting style.
Oh, very good point. She would have missed anyway, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
bear in mind.
9 does hit.
9 hits. Okay. 2
Piercing damage, not as much as last time, but a little bit helps. Nib is go now. No longer surprised.
Shove past. Well, squeeze past apologetically. And do a firebolt.
Say at that distance it will have half cover, which does not help it at all. 12 still hits.
4 fire.
So fire damage. I also forgot to do the dex save for the thingy.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll do that because it's still on fire. Okay. It definitely failed, so 2 more damage from that fire. Sapphire, it is your go.
Gosh. Gonna have to use the Warhammer. Swinging down.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
Gosh.
Smashes more of this off into the wall. Madriel, it's your go.
Sacred Flame.
Dex save. Fails 7 points of radiant damage. It is barely hanging on now.
Nice.
But it is the Opera Jelly's turn. It's going to slap out at you.
Mhm.
Once more. 14, which does miss, I believe.
It does, but do you want to do the advantage for the one before? Because it had surprise and I didn't have a shield out.
Oh, that's true.
Very true, thank you. Nope. This is Ruby's go.
Ruby is gonna do a longbow.
Does miss, so the natural one.
Yeah.
So onto Nib.
Pew pew. Oh, it would have to do a dex save at the end of its turn. With a
Oh,
bonfire.
yes, you're right.
See whether it takes 1 damage.
It fails, and that is enough to finish it off,
Ah.
actually.
Yeah.
That combat is...
Oh, these jellies are everywhere. Maybe I shouldn't be so brazen, but hey, you know, it's interesting caves. Whose fire is this? She looks around.
It's mine. Apologies. And Madriel would drop concentration on the bonfire.
Yeah.
It's alright, just getting a bit hot on my face, you know? She sort of steps over some of these little rocks and peers around the corner, or attempts to.
Yeah, it's hard to make. You would be able to sort of slide your way through there, just about, Sapphire, considering your sort of smaller stature.
Yeah. Even with chunky armour on.
Yeah, he's still just about small enough to fit through. It's probably about 3 feet wide.
Oh, I need to lose some busty bust. Just slips through. Yeah.
Yeah, you see it ends at another secret door, very obvious. I'll open it up for you.
There's another secret door.
So, there we go. Opens back up into the chamber where you were previously.
Oh, don't even bother coming round. She bashes through the door and you just hear a crash come echoing through here, I assume.
Yeah. Do we want to search for any more secret doors or anything?
Well, I think there's one here, still.
I more meant why we were back here in this little place.
Oh, if you think there's going to be more, there, I suppose there could be.
Up to you.
Well, let's bash through this one first.
Yeah, open. So hard to get. Boom. Again, revealing another door at the end of a corridor.
Bash.
Reveals another corridor beyond. Do a perception check for me.
Mm-hmm.
You're pretty confident there's no jellies in this corridor as you look.
No
down.
orange juice to be seen in this one. Not that I can see anyway, you know,
Yeah.
my eyesight being not that reliable, apparently.
Yeah, you see another door at the sort of east end, and the path curls up to the west. In this room, you see that it just looks like there's a partially collapsed room. There doesn't seem to be much of value in here. In particular, you can't really even tell what it might have once been used for.
Just a bit of a broken room in here. Any secret doors?
Yeah, I can keep a search for any.
Yeah, do a perception check for me.
Advantage.
Yeah, if you're searching together.
Yeah.
You're pretty confident there's no secret doors in this chamber, Madriel?
Nice. Crunches some rocks as she steps
I will
over
say
them.
with a 19 though,
Hmm.
you do sort of look. Does Madriel have dark vision?
She does, yeah.
With the dark vision beyond, then you do look like beyond this rubble. It does seem like there's a room on the other side of the rubble.
Oh.
Ooh.
But
There's a chamber on the far side, but I'm not sure how we'd get there.
Does it look like I could bash through any particular area where it's not going to
definitely
crumble on
not.
top of me?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not.
Yeah.
Sapphire's not that stupid. That if you even
Uh.
tried removing these rocks, it could all come down on you. You think?
Yeah, that's fair. I think you're right. I don't think they're getting in there this
I
way.
also think with a 19. Actually, no, not from this side.
Perhaps we missed something in that last room. You know, one up above. Perhaps a way in.
Yeah,
Let's
Madriel
go
will
that
go back and
direction.
search here
Yeah, do a
with Nib helping.
yeah, do a perception check with advantage.
40.
You still can't find anything. Even with Nib helping, it's I think you think that it's with your search, it's still something you're going to have to commit more time to.
Sorry, I can't find anything here.
Well, you continue looking up there just for a minute. I'm just going to go check around this corner.
You'd see another secret door at the end that seemingly opens
Bash.
back up to the sort of entrance area.
Ah, well, at least we've opened all these exits for ourselves. Maybe we could do some more bashing. You'd say it was in this direction-ish?
Yes.
Oh,
I've
well,
been.
you know what they say about, tables with blood on them? Sometimes they, secret stuff.
If you say so.
Try
Yeah,
and move it out of the way.
yeah, make a
Push it.
athletics check for me.
Ruby, it's gonna be heavy. Come help me.
Yeah, Ruby would come and help. Yeah, and you start to push the platform, and it does start to give way slightly, and then as you push it, you hear from beyond the room, it is sort of sound like something is kind of falling down to the floor.
Well, something's happening. Don't know what. Where did it sound like it was
It's
coming from
something
any
coming
direction?
from like over here.
Okay. Is there a door here behind the altar?
There's no door behind the altar, no. It was pretty obviously coming from sort of beyond that.
Oh, behind where we were.
Mm-hmm. And Madria, if you made your way around there, you'd see that a door has now presented itself where the wall once was. That you didn't notice in your search before.
Job, Sapphire?
Oh, I did a thing.
You see that there is ahead of you. There's a small tunnel that has there's some partially collapsed area, sort of at the end, but there's a lot of rubble in the way, and you think that you could dig through this rubble, but it would probably take you about sort of maybe 10 hours with all of you working together.
Jeeps.
You think that you can see there is a large room beyond there, though, Madriel, with your dark vision, and Sapphire, you can see it too, like through the rocks. You can just about make out what looks like a very large, maybe slightly ornate room beyond there.
Oh gosh, that's usually where all the treasure is. Always in the hard to forget to places. Well, I suppose we could still bash down these doors. I assume they're doors.
Yeah, they are doors if you wanted to open them up. You can
Yeah.
see that to the south and the north. The south there is a partially collapsed room. That seems to be the other side. You can see that. Do a perception check, actually, Sapphire.
Mhm.
Easier to see on this side. I think Madriel would just have definitely with an 18. You can see there is a skeleton within the rubble. Looks like a dwarf, like maybe a dwarf priest, sort of wearing rotted red leather armor, with with the symbol of with a symbol of around the neck of like a holy symbol. Again with the symbol of like a tiny jewel dagger on a silver chain. I will say, Sapphire, since you got very close to the check before, you see that. Do you assume you speak Dwarvish?
Probably. Yeah. Yep.
You see on the symbol itself, as you kind of like the sort of neck is kind of hanging out, half submerged. This dwarven skeleton in the rubble. You pull off. I imagine she would pull off the symbol.
Yeah, if it looks interesting.
Yeah, if you inspect it, you see on the back inscribed with dwarvish runes that translate to "Greed is good." And feel free to make another religion check for me based on your previous roll. It's a lower DC this time based on.
Looks like this guy's all for greed. She turns it over.
Nope.
Don't know what it is. Greedy priest, greedy man. I don't know what to say. Well, he's dead though.
You get the impression.
Sad sight to see.
Do a quick wisdom or no intelligence check, Arcana check. Let's say Arcana.
Oh, no.
Or anyone else who wants to help can do an Arcana check as well.
17.
Or
Sapphire, you get the impression it's probably worth around maybe 50 gold pieces.
Well, we can at least sell it. I mean, somebody must agree with this greed is good symbol on here. She hands it to Madriel.
Medro holds it and looks at it closely. Certainly not a creed I would follow. So
No,
each to their own.
indeed, not one for us, eh? Maybe greedy for ale. She sort of side eyes to Ruby, but
Right, you are.
but not much more. Did you want to come inspect the skeleton, Madriel? That seems something you do.
Yes.
Yeah,
Medro do like a medicine.
Yeah, do a medicine check.
Hey.
Yeah, you definitely get the impression that this dwarf was probably making her way through here and was crushed by the falling rubble that fell from above, probably killing her instantly, you think? Looks like her spine is like shattered and as the sort of rubble hits the bone.
Yeah. Probably a fairly quick death, at least.
Some grace, at least.
I was thinking for our name.
You got a good one, do you?
Well, I'm not so sure about that, but I've just been thinking whilst we've done all this searching. Or as we are either gold or jewels, we are all precious, and we're all precious to me. So, the precious few, I thought.
Precious few. That's a good one.
Ooh,
What do you think, Ruby?
I love it. Sorry, there's dust all in this chamber.
Either that or
I like it too, Madriel.
sticking with the thank you, Nib. Sticking with the bulwark theme, the golden shields or the golden bulwark. But then that doesn't include the gems.
I like the precious few. I think that says that a few left in this world who actually want to do some good. That sounds like us.
Oh, that's a good one, Ruby. Oh, you sold me now. I was on the cusp there, you know.
Well, it seems you've got a knack for healing and a knack for renaming things as well.
Thank you. We've just had lots of time searching around.
Quite. What's in that
Yeah.
room to the north, Sapphire?
And you look
Oh, I dunno.
around, Sapphire, and you see an empty stone font like juts out of the southwest wall, and a stone wardrobe against the east wall holds the rotted remains of like 2 suits of red leather armor. They look like vestments almost.
There's more bodies up there, Madriel.
Are you proficient in religion, Madriel?
Am I proficient in?
Religion.
I am, yeah.
Make another religion check for me. I think there's more information's coming. You didn't get a good roll before. It's a higher DC for you. We'll just see if all these things come together. Nah, you still
11.
You still don't know what this is, so
Yeah. Yes.
you do see. Oh no, never mind. Yeah, that's all you can see for now. Oh no, you would on this side. Sorry, you would see a secret door at the top, Sapphire, that you could push open and leads back into the chamber at the top.
Oh, yep. Nice. Well, I mean, we're pretty stuck for anything else, I don't think, unless we could figure out a way to get into that big room over there.
I don't really want
Either way.
I don't think it. With all the symbol and everything, do you think these dwarves were maybe too greedy for their own good? Maybe.
Oh, I think so.
Maybe it's a warning that whatever lies beyond might, I don't know. Just a thought I had.
I think that's wise, Nib.
I think that as well, although, where there's greedy people and where they've died, there's usually leftovers. Whether we want to actually try and get those, that's a different question. I'm sure these dwarves outside will.
Maybe
At
the
least want to know about
excavators
it.
will.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they're good at, right?
I'm sure it is. That's their job, right? Well, either way, we got ourselves some gems. I mean, we've cleared out the jellies for these dwarves. I think we've done some good here.
Right, I think we've
Yeah.
earned ourselves some sending stones. They'll come in right useful.
Well, they will. Especially with the more of us now, eh, Ruby?
Right you are.
As you move your way to the exit, you see the sort of dwarfs like perk up. As you do, and sort of Dazzlin steps forward, and she's like, "Oh, you're back. Worried you maybe joined the other of our dead kin in there for a moment."
No, too good for that. I told you, warned you.
Shouldn't trust strangers.
Kind of sits there all miserable, looking like.
Well, if you're so miserable, I guess you won't want to know what we found then, eh?
You kind of like see him like slightly perk up at it, and he's like,
Go on then.
Pulls out the little pouch of gems. I thought we could split this 50-50, like we said before.
Very kind of you.
Yeah. They sounded very sarcastic, but
Yeah.
she's like, "Don't listen to him. Just we really appreciate what you've done. This will speed up our work immeasurably. And thank you for the warning about the dragon. We'll make sure we take the necessary precautions. We might have to maybe call in maybe some guards or such. Little do it, good it'll do against a dragon though, but
Well, definitely at least try and stay inside, maybe hidden. I don't think a dragon's going to be fitting through these tiny walls.
Did you find anything else in there? Was there any rooms that we could look beyond and see if there's anything more worth searching for?
We've certainly opened up a lot of secret passageways, so I think you'll find something interesting directly that way, through one of them.
Oh, brilliant. That's great news. That means we could find some real treasures in here.
You should be careful. This symbol was found on a skeleton inside, and Metro holds up the dagger with the gem.
We're both going to look, so I'm going to roll for advantage, and I'm going to say these guys, being excavators, would be proficient in history, so still pretty high DC. And that one obviously doesn't work, but let's see if the advantage roll. Nope.
No.
Looks like someone's got a fancy jeweled dagger. Wouldn't mind one of them for myself.
Be careful, you
maybe
know.
we could find one beyond the that room you said about. Did you find anything out? It just this oh, it's quite a nice amulet you got there. How about you take? Well, you've got that, so how about we take 10 of the gemstones, or 5 of the gemstones and the amulet, and you can have the other 10. That seems about right.
Sounds alright to me. I mean, I wouldn't know what you're gonna do with the amulet anyway, I suppose.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we can find a buyer in Waterdeep for that sort of thing.
Ah, true. Borrow for everything, I suppose.
That's fine by me. Madro hands it over.
Can both of you do perception checks?
Ooh, we're gonna snide us.
Both of you, from quite far in the distance, sort of over to westerly direction, begin to hear the sound of footsteps and like grunting.
Oh. Okay.
There's
You hear that,
something coming.
guys? I heard it too.
I didn't hear anything. What you?
You guys expecting anyone? Someone
No, we weren't expecting
hunting?
you though either. What should we?
True.
What should we do?
Prepare yourselves. Could be hostile.
Okay.
Maybe get inside.
Right. Okay. Come on, Norbus. He's like, oh, I'm sort of like making a big fuss about being moved. That they go and hide. Are you making an effort to conceal yourselves? You do have like a 10-foot wall in front of you. You could probably hide behind, or you could hide behind these bits of rubble if you wanted to, or further into the temple if you chose to.
So far, I don't think we'll hide until she knows what it is or who it is. But a bit too late by then. But she didn't care. She can stand at the front with Ruby if she's staying.
If you're not hiding, then Ruby's not hiding.
Yeah, Madrio's happy here.
Okay. The sounds get closer and closer, and you hear like the sounds of like rocks being kicked across the floor. What languages do you both speak?
Only common and dwarvish.
Celestial, Halfling, and Infernal.
It's a language that none of you recognise. It sounds quite guttural and quite yeah, it sounds very kind of like brutish.
Ruby, prepare a longbow in case they're hostile.
Yeah. Right, you are. Do a perception check for me, all of you.
18.
Give me 1 second. Okay. Whatever's making the noise, would you, you're talking amongst yourselves, so let me quickly. It was a disadvantage actually, so let's go that again. So, Madrion, Ruby, and Sapphire, Nib's struggling to. At the very edge of your vision, you start to see like these brutish, orcish forms come closer and closer. I'm gonna do. You're not hiding, so they definitely notice you. And the one at the front just calls out in orcish, just like Russia! And they begin to sort of charge in your direction. Can you please roll initiative for me?
Ruby is holding a longbow attack.
Well, yeah, she'll get to do that on her turn when she does it. And she won't. They weren't surprised. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Nice. Good one, Ruby.
Oh, why did that roll already? Oh, one of them rolled a natural 20. Okay, walk 1. Let's rename it because I'm going to roll separate initiatives because I didn't want to try, like I said. 3. And finally walk 4. So walk 4's initiative I've done. Let's go for this guy. And walk 3. Cool. So at the top of the thing, what's Ruby's Dex mod?
+1.
The Orcs is also +1. So
Ooh.
if you want to roll just a d20, Hannah, we'll see who gets higher.
7.
I got a 5, so Ruby goes
Hey,
first. So she can
Ruby. Let's out a shot.
roll a attack roll.
Hey, Ruby.
Oh my
Third
God.
one.
Very
Ruby, what the
nice.
fuck?
God
Why
damn.
is the AC not being displayed? That's kind of annoying. Doesn't even show their AC on this character sheet. It's really bad design. Let me hold on. Let me get an orc out from the compendium because I'm not a fan of that.
Rude.
Yeah, it's really annoying. 13 is the AC, so let me quickly just add that onto all their things. Okay. Oh, all the other ones tab it, but that... Oh no, it's because they're linked. Oh my god, have they linked these tokens?
Oh.
Hold on, let me see if it actually changes for all of them. No, it doesn't, that's really weird. They've linked the AC. What a
But not
weird
the rest.
thing Roll20 have done. Sorry, so that would have been maximised, so 3 more damage, so 9 plus 7 is 16 points damage, and she just
Yeah.
instantly headshots this orc right in the head.
Oh,
And just...
no.
and just drops dead
Jesus.
on the floor.
Would it be a bit cheeky to use a bonus action to get my shield back out?
Yeah, I think that's more than reasonable. You had the bow prepared anyway, so you could shoot and then change and ready
Yeah.
yourself. The orc is going to, because he's an orc, and use bonus action to run pretty fast, I believe. Yep, so it can move 60 feet with its bonus action. Boom, and runs all the way up to here.
Oh,
Yeah,
speed.
very speedy and an aggressive feature. Just seeing their companion drop down, gonna swing out with his great axe, assuming opposing disadvantage on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it didn't roll with disadvantage. It's done that twice now. I've
Yeah.
literally got disadvantage clicked and it's not rolling with disadvantage.
Weird.
So weird. I think these orcs character sheets are just so fucked. 16 misses, I think.
It does indeed.
Second orc. Going to get right up the side as well and swing at Ruby.
Disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Not over as a natural one, so that is their turn. Madriel, it's your go.
Montreal. Swiftly becoming a classic, but we'll do create bonfire beneath the orc at the top. Dex save.
I got an 8.
Oh.
3 fire damage. That's my turn.
Fire damage. Let me grab the little fire token once more.
Back.
Sapphire, it's your go.
Sapphire readies her warhammer as this orc rushes her, and she's gonna, as soon as he reaches her, she's gonna swing at his face.
Okay.
Does it hit? 17?
17 does definitely hit.
11 damage.
Very
Big
nice.
damage.
Yeah, very big damage. Is that the door at the bottom or the top, did you say?
At the bottom,
Yeah,
one in
that's
front of her.
Cool. Is that your turn?
That's my turn. Yep.
Nib. Yes, Nibs go.
Why about the one at the top?
Definitely hits with 17.
4 fire damage.
Boom. Orc number 3 is way back here. It's going to gonna hold its position here and throw a javelin at you, Sapphire. Ruby's already used
okay.
her thing, so it's
Ruby has, yeah.
misses though, the 7.
Yeah,
Clangs
misses
against
with a
the
7.
wall. Ruby's go.
Ruby is gonna attack this one in front of her.
Doke. 17 hits.
17.
9 slashing
9.
damage, and tell me how Ruby cuts this orc down. The
Oh.
second of the day.
She sees him writhing from the fire damage, sees a little opening in his side, just slashes at him through the belly.
It's just like, down you go! That is orc number 2, so I can take him off Canada.
Nice one, Ruby.
Fire top, and orc number 4 is up next. It's gonna slam down at you, Sapphire. No,
Mm-hmm.
it's slam down at Ruby actually. Cut down
Yeah,
its companion.
both of us have our shields back, so
No,
it's
no,
disadvantage.
disadvantage on them.
I don't think Sapphire has hers back yet, does she?
Yeah, she did from the last one. Hasn't gone all the way back round yet. With someone attacking Ruby.
Cool.
10 misses then, otherwise he would have nat 20'd. Let's see how
20,
much
though.
would he have rolled? I'm just
Okay.
curious. It's so fucked, this character sheet, it doesn't
Just
even
have
roll
him hit me.
damage.
I want him to hit me.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I'd have to use the other... Let me just open the other orc character sheet, because I got a different one on the compendium,
I
which...
think she has anyway. Yeah,
I can't remember, so it's
you
fine.
died.
We'll say that you didn't. You did, sorry. So you've used it now, though.
Oh, you could nat 20 me.
I'm just thinking, like, the orc before... Oh, I literally cannot remember.
I think she does, but I'm not 100%.
I trust you, it's fine. Madriel, it's your go.
Madriel is just gonna Sacred Flame. This one. Dex save.
Gets a nat 20.
Very nice. That's my turn.
Sapphire, it's your go.
Hammer this guy in front of her again.
Does hit.
Aiming for the face.
Tell me how you kill this orc.
After the first blow to the face, I imagine he's looking pretty ragged after that first one, so second one, she aims for the other side. Bosh, in the head. Brain damage.
Okay. It's Nib's go.
Nib can see this one.
He certainly could.
Nib will do Firebolt.
I don't know, 20s.
Yep.
Would be maximised on the first.
Way
so,
off.
Yeah, 12 points of damage. Oh, he's still alive.
Ooh.
But not by much. There's a huge firebolt hits into him. This orc is gonna fucking leg it.
Yeah.
Touch all its friends go down. It's only got. It's gonna dash actually. Yeah.
Run.
Get to there. Ruby's go. If she's gonna chase it or not.
She might like go up to here. I don't know if she can see him from there.
She would be able to see him from there, definitely.
Longbow. I'll pull out a longbow.
Let me give you visual on these characters actually. Okay. update the tokens as well. Might as well.
Yeah, that's just longbowing.
Yeah, go for a shot if you choose to.
Oh, 13 though.
13 does just hit.
Oh.
2
Two.
piercing damage is not quite enough to kill him though. He's like limping away now. The other
Yeah.
orc is dead. Madriel, it's your go. Ruby would be back one space, by the way, Hannah, because she's only got 25
Yeah.
speed.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Actually, only be here.
Didn't calculate it. Just ran.
Be here. You still could have seen him though, because all these are like 1 feet tall.
Cool.
He's just within 60 feet. Sacred Flame.
Does pass with a 16.
He's all good.
Sapphire, it's your go.
I don't know if Sapphire's even got any long range. She's got a crossbow. What's the range on a crossbow? 80 feet.
Definitely shoot him from there.
Yeah, let's try it.
Yeah, and with that, the bolt lands square in his back as he's limping from the shot from Ruby, and he falls to his knees.
Shot of Destiny. Catching up some points from you, Madriel.
And I
I think yours was based on actual skill.
More like dumb luck, I think. It's not my forte, crossbows.
And I think with as one shot ended one session in the back of a fleeing enemy, a second shot ends a second enemy in a second session.
Yeah.
We will end today's session there.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah.